And we're
La-
live.
Ladies and gentlemen, what's good, y'all? It's the Chillmeister J. Christian Gary and Jay Wolf, and this is yet another edition of Focus Fights Audio Presents. Well, actually, it should be more like Focus Fights Video because of the fact that we're basically streaming this to you live on the Focus Fights YouTube channel. I mean, first of all, before I continue even one bit, on a personal level, I just want to say my condolences to the family of Fred Fowler, who passed away over the week. He was a big name in the world of sports gambling and the world of sports journalism in my neck of the woods. I mean, hell, he even graduated from the same high school that I graduated from, despite the fact it was 30 years apart. But still, though, point of the matter is, Fred Fowler meant so much to me as far as, being a fan of his radio show. Excuse me, a fan of his radio show and a fan of his overall breadth of work. I mean, he was even an author. He was even, he was even an author. He was an entrepreneur. And he pretty much made the world of sports gambling pretty much what it is now, aside from the fact that unfortunately can't get sports gambling here in Texas, but still though, the point of the matter is he meant so much to a lot of people and he made people better for being around him, and I'm going to miss him, especially considering the fact that a lot of the euphemisms in local radio in my neck of the woods are what a lot of the people that I listen to these days take after. And also, another little bit of condolence. Well, not really a bit of condolence, more like a bit of respect for Mark the Hammer Coleman, who had to go into his house, into his parents' house, save his parents, rescue his dog who didn't survive. He ended up being in the hospital with smoke inhalation over the week and just got admitted back to the hospital yesterday, I think, for pneumonia after taking all the soot out of his body. So, it sucks to see a legend like Mark Coleman be put in the hospital, especially all that he went through. But, his daughters are keeping his name alive, and they're putting together a GoFundMe page right now. And as I'm editing this, as you can basically, you can check it out in the description of this podcast, either, as this show goes on or, after the show is off, the recorded version of this. But still, though, point of the matter is, before I continue, Jay Wolf, first of all, how are you doing? And second of all, when you heard about the news of Mark Coleman being put in the hospital, before we get into any fight talk, what was your thoughts? What immediately came over you when you heard about this?
Man, I just was taken aback by it, and big ups to Mark the Hammer Coleman, rescuing his parents from a house fire. Unfortunately, get his dog Hammer, but still, I mean, he survived. He went to the hospital. It was looking like he wasn't going to make it, but he pulled through. I mean, what an absolute legend! Saves his parents' lives, and he made it through that. So just big ups to Mark Coleman. Like you said, there's a GoFundMe set up for him. Even the CEO of the Epic RIZIN, Nobuyuki Sakakibara-san, he tweeted it out last night. So it was, it's just really great to see that he pulled through. And what an absolute legend. I had the pleasure of meeting him at Bellator 290 recently. That was, well, not recently, that was last year around January. And he was real nice, took a picture with him, all that good stuff. So just a really, really nice, good person. And it's great to see that he, basically was a hero of saving his parents, and he got to live. So just a bummer that he couldn't save his dog as well. But I mean, hey, that was a good boy that alerted him initially to the house fire. That's what woke him up, was his dog. So, it's just great to see that he pulled through. But yeah, man, I'm doing well. I can't wait to get into this RIZIN Landmark 9 preview. I mean, we got so much to talk about on this show. We got not only RIZIN Landmark 9, we also had a presser for Super RIZIN 3 that just happened over the weekend. some big news out of that. There's going to be a massive summer blockbuster event for the Epic RIZIN at Super RIZIN 3. I'm sure we'll get into that. I'll let Jay Krish tell you all exactly what the matchup was and everything for that. And then we got some news for kickboxing as well. Rise just had an event. Of course, Glory had an event a couple weeks ago, a badass 8-man one-night tournament. That was awesome. And then this week on Wednesday, or our Tuesday night in America, Wednesday in Japan, King K1 is back. And they're on international broadcast on Fight TV, which is awesome. And then Friday, of course, the RIZIN.TV, that website is up and running and live. You can do a subscription or you can buy the individual show for RIZIN Landmark 9. So just a bunch of cool stuff is happening. So I can't wait to get into the show with you, Jay Krish.
Well, first of all, now that you mentioned it, as I am typing out the ways you, the fans, can help support both the families of Fred Fowler and Mark the Hammer Coleman right now as we post about this. But still, though, point of the matter is, we can talk about RIZIN Landmark. No, we can talk about the epic Super RIZIN 3 that's going to be taking place July 28th, live from the Saitama Super Arena, not the arena version, mind you, the stadium version, the 45,000 seat stadium version that's only been used on such rare occasions, so to speak. They are going to be using that to put over an epic clash that's been that's been waiting to happen for at least the last 3 or 4 years, and that's Ren Hiramoto taking on Mikuru Asakura. When you heard about this fight happening, what came to mind?
Excitement, pure excitement. I cannot wait. This is the one we've been asking for a long time. The Japanese fans are, they're loving it already. Did you see the presser for it? There was a massive crowd already. The tweets for it were the numbers for the tweets about it were rivaling the match a year or two ago. If you remember, the match was the biggest kickboxing event in history, basically. 50,000 fans at the Tokyo Dome, I forget which arena it was. And then, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
Like I said, that was 2 years ago when that happened. It almost feels like yesterday.
I know, right?
But still, though, I get what you mean. They had about 10,000 people gathered at Roppongi Hills Arena Saturday. Yesterday, as we're talking about this, putting this event over. And it basically shows that a lot of people just have interest in combat sports, especially in Japan, where many people here in the Western Hemisphere are basically saying, "Oh, Japan's dead. Oh, they don't clap. They don't cheer for big moments. Blah 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 blah." Tired narratives. Keep going. Who cares?
That's right. Let them hate. Haters gonna hate.
Hey, I'm pretty sure they would hate Taylor Swift if she promoted a J-Kick show.
No, but hey, you're right. It was huge, bro. Like I was saying, the tweets or the posts on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, they were doing the same numbers as the match. They even got more likes. They got a couple thousand less retweets or reposts, but they got a couple thousand more likes. So that's very comparable. Sakaki Barasan, the CEO of Epic RIZIN, he was saying it's going to arguably be the biggest selling pay-per-view in RIZIN's history. And they're going to sell, like Jay Krish was saying, they're going to set up the Saitama Super Arena in the stadium mode. They're expecting 45,000 plus fans. So that's going to be rivaling the match as well. It's very exciting. And as we were talking about, the Japanese fans are already super pumped about this. That presser was you could hear them. The presser was popping on every single word that Mikuru and Ren were saying was getting a pop from the crowd. The Japanese fans are pumped, and I'm sure the international fans are as well. Because like we were saying, this has been a rematch brewing for a long time. It's going to be awesome.
Us, Jay. Seriously, side of us. again, RIZIN still has to deal with the fact that there's not that much international fan interest. Same goes for that damn one championship doing shows in Denver and Atlanta later this year. But still, though, when
We'll
it
see.
comes,
It's growing. The international fandom's growing. I mean, now they got the RIZIN.TV, the international platform for streaming. So I mean, that's part. That's half the battle. Is getting international, a solid international stream. For the fans, and then now I think they're just going to keep build out the rosters, incorporate more international rosters. If you notice, the for not so much on RIZIN Landmark 9, but RIZIN 46 coming up afterwards. A lot of international fighters on it.
You know what? I agree with you, and especially considering the fact, I mean, one fight does not make up a fight card. I mean, yeah, people may say, oh, this is going to be the best event ever, but it's only just one fight. I mean, one fight does not make up a whole card. You got to have more fights put on the card, and I really hope that, considering the international breadth that RIZIN is going to have over the next few months, especially with, in some cases, RIZIN Landmark 9 come. Oh, by the way, let me remind you, RIZIN Landmark 9 this upcoming weekend will take place from Kobe World Memorial Hall in Kobe, Hyogo, Japan. The event starts at midnight Eastern, 9 p.m. Pacific on RIZIN.TV, following prelims. RIZIN Fighting Federation YouTube channel, which will begin at 10:30 p.m. Eastern, 7:30 p.m. Pacific. Cheap plug. They should hire me. But still, though, point of the matter is, when it comes down to what RIZIN has in store, they have the capability of potentially bringing in some big names for that Super RIZIN card. And I say that now because of the fact that, I mean, let's face it, Bellator is not really around as its usual self anymore. You know that for sure. Scott Coker is basically starting from scratch again with his fight night at the Tech Show at CU Arena later this month. You probably
with,
don't be
with
going.
Gilbert Melendez, with Gilbert Melendez as Scotty Coke's going to be doing like the financier part, but Gilbert Melendez is doing like the more promoter part and matchmaking part and stuff. And it's for like the North Cal, San Jose area, Bay Area mixed martial arts to promote them. So that's going to be pretty interesting. We'll see if they're going to have any kind of crossover fights or anything like that.
Yeah, I bet you're probably going to be the main one going to that too.
I don't know. That's a 6-hour drive, so I don't know if I'll be driving all the way up there. But they're copying that damn one championship by having multiple different sports. Not just mixed martial arts. They're having Muay Thai and kickboxing, and they're saying they're even going to do grappling and wrestling and stuff. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see. And they're going to do it in a ring as well. So pretty interesting stuff to see. But I know. Right? But like you were saying, Jay Krish, with the Bellator situation, that's also happening this weekend. And the schedule is going to be on Friday, is going to be Bellator from Belfast, Ireland, and during the day, and then Friday night, like Jay Krish was saying, on RIZIN.TV at 9 p.m. Eastern or 9 p.m. Pacific, 12 a.m. Eastern on Friday night is when the epic RIZIN Landmark 9 starts. And that's interesting to hear that the quote unquote prelims are starting at 7:30 again, or 10:30 Eastern, excuse me, again. So I wonder if it's going to follow. It's going to be real interesting to see. Is it going to follow the same pacing as Landmark 8? If you remember, Landmark 8 started at around about the same exact time, and it set a record for pacing. It was just absolutely fantastic. There was people were raving about it online and everything. And there's a little game going on in the RIZIN Discord. We're going to see if the pacing matches. So it's going to be, that's an added layer of extra intrigue to this Landmark 9 event.
Right, of course.
Oh, sorry. One more thing about Bellator, like I was saying. Yusuke Yachi, remember Yachi? He's being sent over to Bellator. He's going to fight in a Bellator show. Is Don Davis and PF Bellator people, are they going to send over anybody to RIZIN for Super RIZIN 3? I mean, hey.
I would hope so, especially considering that RIZIN bringing Yusuke Yachi over to Bellator. They're gonna probably bring a couple of more people for. No, they're gonna definitely bring a couple of people over for Knucklemania in Los Angeles next month, which I know you're probably having an interest on. I mean,
Oh yeah, I'm thinking about going.
but still though, RIZIN bringing over Yusuke Yachi for Bellator in Paris later this month, if not next month. RIZIN sending over 2 people for Knucklemania in Los Angeles. I don't know where it's going to be at. I mean, is it going to be at LA Live or something? Because it looks like it's a small event.
Yeah, it's at some like the Peacock Arena. I think it's like some NBC Peacock Arena, something like that. So, but the tickets are super expensive, man. The nosebleeds are up to $75, $7,500 for just the nosebleed. It's like, man, you know, those are much more expensive than the Scotty Coke's Bellator prices were. So,
yeah. But here's the thing, though. It's not going to be the Peacock Arena. It's going to be the Peacock Theater, like right within walking distance from SoFi Stadium where the Chargers and Rams play. But still, though, well, the Chargers, Rams, and sometimes LAFC and the LA Galaxy played. But still,
okay, interesting.
When it comes, and need to mention that they're going to have the 2026 World Cup for soccer in that particular stadium. But the point of the matter is, RIZIN having all this interest from still all corners of the globe. Obviously, Bellator wanting Yachi. You got 7 RIZIN veterans fighting on the PFL season card this upcoming season alone. And obviously, you interest from the PFL. No, you obviously got interest from BKFC. I mean, seriously, this year is definitely RIZIN's year to prove that they are the de facto number 2 promotion in the world. And I think that if they can continue to do stuff like that, and if they can, shout the Super RIZIN card, who knows what they might have in store for 2024.
Yeah, it's going to be real interesting. Did you also see Sakaki Barasan, the CEO of Epic RIZIN? Did you see he tweeted out or put on Instagram a picture he was in Uzbekistan with the president or leader of Uzbekistan? And remember from his interviews, he was saying that's possibly one of the locations for an international event, for an international RIZIN event. So it's looking like, hey, maybe that's going to happen.
In a way, would you say that if that does happen, would it be in the same vein as RIZIN Landmark 7 in Azerbaijan late last year?
Yes, because remember, there's several different Uzbekistan fighters on the roster, including a flyweight rising prospect, Temirov. Remember? So that to me, that'd just be perfect for an Uzbek. That's why they're even talking about going to Uzbekistan, is because of guys like Temirov. And for me, it'd be perfect for them to start the flyweight Grand Prix in a country like Uzbekistan, with featuring Temirov, as in the main or co-main event. That would just make too much sense in my opinion. So I could easily see that happening. So just little tidbits of information that could potentially be happening. We'll see how it plays out. So and also interesting things. We were just talking about Bellator. I mean, not Bellator, but Scotty Cokes and the Fight Night at the Tech. Scotty Coke said he's going to be in Japan this week for King K1 on Wednesday and for the Epic RIZIN Landmark 9 on Friday night or Saturday morning. So
he's doing some. I mean, he say he's the executive producer for Fight Night at the Tech, but definitely he's going to be looking to do some talent scouting.
Oh yeah, talent scouting. Who knows what else? Is there going to be any kind of fighter exchanges, anything like that? I mean, could Fight Night at the Tech become like a pipeline because Gilbert Melendez and them were saying that it was supposed to feature up and coming talent. They want to be like a star maker type of a thing. They want to find the next star for mixed martial arts and combat sports from NorCal. From the Bay Area, and he was listing off all these other famous stars from there, like Cain Velasquez and stuff. So that's what his goal is to find like the next rising star from the Bay Area. So could we be seeing a fighter exchange type of thing with the Epic RIZIN and Scotty Cokes and Fight Night of the Tech? Is that what's going to be happening? I mean, who knows?
Come to think of it, you probably might know this more than me. It probably won't be just NorCal they're looking after. SoCal too, Nevada too, New Mexico as well, Utah. I mean, fuck, the whole West Coast.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, and also, Faber's Uriah Faber is also from up north in NorCal, and he's got his promotion, the A1 Combat, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I could easily see them doing like a little partnership collaboration type of thing, and you know, just as another platform to showcase those type of fighters. So it's gonna be real interesting to see. Do you think King K1 or the Epic RIZIN at Landmark 9? You think I'm sure they'll show Scotty Cokes on camera, but I wonder if they'll be talking about it. I'm sure afterwards they'll get asked questions about it, and maybe we'll get any kind of tidbits of information about what's going on with that. So
let's just go ahead and say it now. If Damian Beatdown Brown and Elliot Compton are on commentary, you better believe they won't be talking about it until somebody.
Yeah, yeah, they got someone's got to nudge and be like, hey, make sure you talk about this. Well, I'm sure if the camera pans to Scotty Cokes, they'll have to bring it up and be like, oh, you know, maybe we'll get some kind of little bit of information about what's going on. So just real interesting stuff. So I'm expecting, like we're saying, the Super RIZIN presser only announced one fight, the super fight between Makiru and Ren Hiramoto. So I mean, like Jay Krish, like you were saying, they got to add more fights to that. And I'm anticipating they're gonna for Yusaka Yachi that's being sent over to Bellator. I'm expecting PFL Bellator and PFL to send over some guys for the Super RIZIN card. Because I'm expecting Scotty Cokes, excuse me. I'm expecting Sakaki Barasan to go big for Super RIZIN 3. So I'm talking international fighters. I mean, all kinds of good stuff. So it's not just going to be. I don't think it's going to be Japanese centric. You know, like just because the main event is between two Japanese superstars, is a Japanese super fight that Japanese fans have been wanting for a long time. Doesn't mean the rest of the cards are going to be only Japanese fighters. So we'll see how it plays out. And also, one more thing before we get into this RIZIN Landmark 9 card. They said that they're supposed to be announcing possibly one more fight for this card before the weekend. So make sure you look out for that during the fight weeks. All the fight week stuff that's released. They're gonna do RIZIN Confession series, you know, the behind the scenes stuff like that, all that good stuff. And they might be announcing one more fight. Sakaki Barasan said. So be total for a 15 bout card, the exact same as RIZIN Landmark 8. Be real interesting to see if the pacing matches. So we'll see how it goes. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I can't wait.
Oh yeah, I mean, thanks for the heads up. I didn't realize that. I mean, I know the saying is card subject to change, but I didn't realize that change meant adding an extra fight onto the card.
Yeah, so Sakaki Barasan tweeted out saying they might be adding one more game. They calls it a game. So you know how they do that? They call like the events tournaments and like the bouts games and stuff like that. So he said he might be adding one more game this week. So it's gonna be interesting to see if that happens or not. And fingers crossed. Hopefully it's a mixed martial arts superior rule set bout instead of another kickboxing bout. Because they already got 4 kickboxing bouts on the card for the prelims. So we don't need any more kickboxing. We need more superior rule set mixed martial arts bouts on this.
Well, here's the thing, though, and yeah, it kind of confuses me whenever the Japanese in general, and I'm not trying to be, disrespectful. It confuses me every time I see the term games and tournaments.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's all right. Once you figure out the lingo, it kind of all makes sense. So it's just a translation too. It's basically lost in translation because it's for us. It's when they translate their tweets. Those are the words that the translator's spitting out for us. But that's what they're talking about when they say tournament and games. They mean events and fights, bouts.
Come to think of it, when I think of tournaments and games, I think of March Madness. I just got done watching the Selection Sunday proceedings before this while I was basically doing this. I mean, getting all the kinks out with you before the show.
Oh, nice. Nice. Yeah. Yeah. It's going to be a lot of fun. So, speaking of that, because you're talking about March Madness, because that's the date of when it's happening. Let's let them know about the date that was announced for Super RIZIN. It's going to be earlier. Remember, people were thinking it's going to be later on in August or September after the Olympics. No,
Right.
it's going to be early. It's going to be July 28th, 2 days after the Olympics start.
Yeah, July 28th from Saitama Super Arena is when Super RIZIN 3 is going to be taking place. It'll be July 27th for us in the Central and Pacific time zones. But still, though, point of the matter is, while everybody's celebrating the first weekend of the Olympics, I mean, we're pretty much going to enjoy watching a fight world version of the Olympics when it comes down to Super RIZIN 2. And when it comes down to Super RIZIN 3, and I can't be any more excited about that. But still, though, before we get to Super RIZIN 3, we got RIZIN 46 coming up in May, and
No,
obviously
April 29th. They moved the date up.
April 29th, obviously, is RIZIN 46, and that will be Chihiro Suzuki versus Kanehara. We'll talk about that once we get there. And obviously, let's go ahead and not waste any more time. Let's go ahead and talk about RIZIN Landmark 9 and Kobe, even though the full card hasn't been, fully developed yet. I mean, I know we want to talk about the failed paralegal taking on Taka Kenshin, but wait a minute. I think I see somebody coming onto the stage.
Oh, we got an extra. Is Drew going to show up?
I would hope so. Andrew, Paging Fire Island. Are you there? I don't think he's coming. Well, actually, no. He's waiting, but still.
Oh, okay. Still, all right, yeah. If he can show up, that'd be great. If not, just leave some comments for us. So let's get right into the. And you know what? It'd be cool if he could show up because he knows about the kickboxing bouts that are kicking off this RIZIN Landmark 9 card. He knows more about them than we do because at least I am a kickboxing casual. You know me. I really only like the one night tournament that they do. Oh wait, is that him, Drew?
Did you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, we just can't see you.
Unfortunately, I'm taking care of some things right now, so I'm kind of out in the field. So unfortunately, the sound is not the best, and neither is the picture. By picture, I mean really nothing.
That's all right. No, the sound is great. We can hear you just fine. It's just there's no picture. So,
yeah,
but hey,
unfortunately, my phone battery is a little bit low, so I don't want to waste it. I'd rather just because I think I only got maybe 15 or 20 minutes for you guys. So, but I want to hopefully my phone won't die.
Okay, yeah. Well, let's get right into these opening bouts. They start at 7:30 or 10:30 p.m. Eastern, 7:30 p.m. Pacific.
Which PFL show are we talking about?
No, the PFL show. You mean where there's no results found for the American distribution?
Sorry, no. I thought we were talking about PFL. That's what we're here for, right?
No, Andrew.
They gotta. If anything, we gotta find out where they're gonna showcase the PFL or PFL Bellator Belfast show. They haven't even released a darn streaming platform for them yet. So we'll see how that goes. But no, we're talking about RIZIN Landmark 9, the opening bouts, the opening prelims started.
In my case, we go from top down. And in your case, Andrew, since you're just coming on to the show, I just want to get your thoughts. How would you compare the supposed main event of RIZIN Landmark 9, which might be Naoki Inoue versus Shoko Masumitsu Sato, or Roberto Satoshi de Souza, RIZIN Landmark versus Keith Taro Nakamura, to the announcement of what we got just a few days ago, Super RIZIN 3, Mikuru Asakura versus Ren Hiromoto. How would you compare potentially a main event or two main events of RIZIN Landmark 9 to the one main event we just got announced for earlier this weekend.
Well, I mean, nothing really compares to Ren and Mikuru. I mean, like, there's a reason why that's getting all the attention, all the deserved attention, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you ain't gonna see Roberto and what's his name, Keitaro main eventing Saitama. You know.
I mean, would you say even if it was for the title?
No. And this is I don't. This is has I'm trying to think. Has Satoshi done? He must have been part of a show that was at Saitama, right? Or am I? I feel like.
I mean,
he's been at Saitama before. Yeah, he's been at Saitama before.
Yeah, he was the main event of RIZIN 40 when he lost to AJ McKee.
That's what I thought. Okay, never mind. But that wasn't for a title.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, unfortunately, yeah, you know, Ren and Mikuru's like, I don't want to say it's the only big fight you can make. But I mean, it's the biggest one you could possibly make right now, other than maybe, you know, Tenshin Takaru too.
That ain't happening. I mean, obviously that's not happening because that damned one championship is gonna be cheap about it.
Yeah, Shaki's holding Takeru hostage.
Can I ask? I don't know if either of you happen to know, but did they release tickets for that for the show yet?
For which
show?
Mikuru Ren. Did they? I don't think they have, but unless I missed it.
No, they have not. But
No.
Tickets will go on sale very, very soon, and once they sell out, they're gonna restock some more.
Yeah.
Probably gonna sell out in minutes. This is gonna be like a rock concert, sell out in minutes.
I'm interested to know what they're gonna price that show at, and yeah, that's the thing I'm most interested in. I'm also interested in what they're gonna do with the undercard. I have to believe that Kai is gonna be on the show, his first title defense. I'm assuming.
Oh, you know what? Think of it. That reminds me of another thing that was mentioned during the press conference. I think Sakakibara said that Kai Asakura is gonna defend his bantamweight title a few times, maybe a couple of times, and possibly get some notice from the Bald Father.
Who's that? Dingleberry Dana White? Yeah, well, I mean, he should. I mean, you see the lame the people were online and on the internet and everywhere else. People were trashing the UFC for announcing the flyweight title against a guy that only had like 3 fights. He's only like a 3-fight win streak. Some unnamed guy. I can't even remember what his name is right now. Instead of announcing like Kyoji Horiguchi or somebody, but we know that with Kyoji, we don't know. Hey, Drew, do you have any updates? Is Don Davis, your boy Don Davis, going to let Kyoji go into his UFC dream or no?
That honestly has nothing to do with. I don't know why people think like that. Well, first of all, I think Drake said that Kyoji has 2 contracts. Bellator. No, he only has he has a Bellator and the RIZIN contract. Here's the thing, though. Why would the other issue is the UFC? What is their incentive to rebook Horiguchi? Nobody has made a case for why Dana White should resign, other than that's a fight to make. But we know the UFC doesn't make fights to make. They don't do that anymore. You know.
Yeah, the UFC's in the business of making.
I'm sorry, Chris. I apologize for interrupting. I want to hear Jay. What is Dana White? What is his? Well, I don't know. Do you want him to go to UFC or no?
No.
Yeah, I mean that's where Kyoji wants to go. Yes, and he wants to challenge the UFC title.
Doesn't matter what Kyoji wants. Listen, if we all wish what we wanted, we would all be billionaires because that's our wish to become true. But Kyoji's wishes don't matter at all. But what is the incentive? I'm serious. But what is the financial or what is the incentive for UFC to re-sign Horiguchi and give him a title shot on his first fight back?
Oh, easy. It's a much bigger fight than what they just booked for their flyweight title shot. Yes, it is. People are trashing the UFC for this decision, for going with some no-name guy that can't even remember what his freaking. What's his name? What's the name of the guy that just signed for the flyweight title fight? What's his name?
Wolf, you've already. This is,
Okay. I just won. You can't even name it. You can't even name the guy. Nobody knows who he is.
No. Let me go ahead and tell you right now. His name is Steve Astro Boy Ursig. Who's
okay? Ursig. Yeah. Who?
Yeah.
Who?
but no, the issue is not the name. It's the issue that's flyweights. UFC has not.
Kyoji is one of arguably the biggest stars at flyweight, and he's been for. I mean, they have a UFC highlight reel of him from his first run in the UFC, where he's 7-1. You know, and he's been a superstar outside of the UFC at a weight class above flyweight, by the way. And I mean, just the incentive was there. I can't believe they didn't do it. It must have been something with money, or Don Davis was not letting him out of his Bellator contract, because Sakaki Barasan. He was ready to let him go. He was all about it. Same with Kai Asakura. He's ready to let. Now the question is, why didn't Dingleberry Dana White sign Kai Asakura? What's the problem there?
I think that's highly more likely. That's highly more likely. I went through, so I forgot who it was. Who was it? MMA Assault. I forgot who it was, but someone did give me a bunch of names that the UFC re-signed when I was asking for, hey, can somebody actually name names of fighters that UFC resigned? And the common theme was, it was names like Dan Henderson, Nick Diaz, who was it? Randy Couture. I forgot. There was a whole bunch of names, and I noticed that all these all the bigger name resigns were all pre-TKO. Very few people. TKO, when it took over, have been re-signed to UFC. That is not their market anymore to have the best fighters in the world. Their market is 12-12. That's their market.
Yeah, Tuesday Night Contender Series guys, right? That's exactly what they want.
Yes. And when you think when you get down to thinking about it, apart from the fact they don't care about flyweight, there is no UFC incentive and especially give him a title shot. And listen, they're going to rebook Horiguchi. They're going to do what they just did with Jose Aldo and put him against somebody who they want him to lose to. So
another terrible decision by the UFC and Dingleberry Dana White. I can't believe they're doing that to Aldo. Terrible.
So, yeah, if he gets, I see a higher percentage, a higher likely more signing of Kai than Kyoji at this point, honestly.
Well, I mean, why did they do it already?
You should be happy.
Why did they do it already with Kai? I mean, Kai was ready to go. Sakaki Barasan was ready to let Kai go.
I guess it's probably because RIZIN wants him to defend the title. It's kind of a bad look if you got wins the championship and then leave. This isn't like the Manel Cape or Jiri. Well, Manel Cape because RIZIN. Remember that was a pandemic happened right after. But want to at least have one defense. Also it sets a precedent that if you win the title and you then say, hey, I want to go to UFC, you can be like, oh, hey, you can I go to UFC after you won the belts? It's not, you don't want your champions leaving after they win a belt.
I hear you. But what wasn't Cape's belt? Wasn't that the Grand Prix belt, not the actual title?
I thought that was for the inaugural title, and then he had to relinquish it because obviously he got signed to UFC, but because the pandemic, he couldn't fight in a. Pretty sure I'm 90%. No, because it wasn't the GP. Because remember, Kyoji beat him in the final.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't the GP title; it was the actual title that came.
Yeah, that was the title. He was the first bandweight, and then remember, who was it? Kyoji beat Caldwell. They had a non-title fight. He had to vacate because he got injured. Kai beat Ogi Kubo for it. Rematch between Kyoji. Yeah, I remember. That's the whole timeline now.
Okay. Well, I mean, we'll see what happens. I mean, I don't understand why. Now you're explaining it, Drew. That totally makes sense. Why they would want Kai to defend the title once or twice.
Not even that. I mean, Jay, you're a promoter. This is an LFA. This is RIZIN. Do you want your champion? Do you want your champion just leaving after they win a title shot? Because that's what they do in LFA.
No, of course not.
Yeah,
of course not. I don't want to leave it after he wins a title shot. Nor do I want him leaving after he wins a Grand Prix. Okay, I want all the fighters to stay in the Epic RIZIN. But I mean, it's commendable as Sakaki Barasan. He doesn't want to stand in the way of these fighters' dreams because they want. UFC is still, like it or not, it's the biggest stage with the biggest money purses, all that good stuff. So the fighters, they want to fight in the UFC, and they want to, because that's where you get popularity. I mean, even though RIZIN is arguably the second biggest stage in the world, and their crowd sizes beat UFC's consistently, and they're the only other pay-per-view viable company to the UFC. So I mean, it's not like RIZIN is like a little league.
I'm gonna be an asshole. They beat him in Japan. They don't beat him in US. I'm not counting the match. I am not. The match is that's a different animal. I think you're counting the match, right? I feel like you're counting the match, right?
No. The look at the attendance numbers for RIZIN. They consistently score 20,000 plus.
Oh, yeah.
That is on par with the UFC, and sometimes beats the UFC, especially when the UFC is running all these freaking Apex Shed Warehouse shows. So that's what I'm talking about. I mean, RIZIN is a big stage. I mean, like it or not, or admit it or not, RIZIN is the big show. It's one of the big shows.
Clarify. Number one is not UFC. It's Breaking Down.
Okay, but look, the fighters they do, they want it. UFC is where they get the recognition. Even though RIZIN is a big stage, one of the big shows, you don't get the recognition. They barely even freaking mention us. It's ridiculous. I mean, it makes me so mad. I can't stand the UFC lapdog media. So that's why I think a lot of these fighters, they want to go to the UFC and they have UFC dreams because they want the recognition of how great they are at fighting.
I'm sorry.
So
I don't want to. I don't want to take over your show, Chris. I'll just make this one last point. The other reason why so many of them want to go to UFC is because the Japanese economy is shit now. I'm going to tell you this: other than Kai, maybe some few other people, what they're able to get paid in UFC, like US dollars, probably will be a lot more than what they're getting paid in yen right now, because the yen is in the absolute shitter right now. So, yeah. That's also probably another reason why there's suddenly like all these Japanese fighters are now saying UFC. They want to go to UFC when this wasn't. I won't say it wasn't a goal of theirs, but it wasn't. They weren't so upfront and forthright about it.
Yeah, it always boils down to the money. Always boils down to the money, of course, but also some recognition stuff like that also factors into it as well. But I mean, no. Anyways, to circle back to your original question, no, I have no problem with Kai having to defend his title once or twice before going to the UFC. But I think the UFC is absolutely dumb for not signing Kyoji back. I mean, Horiguchi is an international star, has UFC highlights already. I mean, and their UFC is getting trashed for having Urseg in the flyweight title after only 3 UFC bouts instead of re-signing Kyoji. So I think that was a mistake by Dingleberry Dana White. Maybe it boils down to money. Maybe Kyoji was asking for money. Who knows? Well, I mean, we don't know the details of that. So, but hey, Drew, before you go, can you let us know about the kickboxing? Because you were saying that there were some interesting fighters on the kickboxing prelims.
Oh yeah,
for Landmark 9. Excuse me, for Landmark 9, the 4 kickboxing prelim bouts.
Well, I mean, by interesting, I mean they aren't these like fucking regional jobbers that they book for like a lot of the portions, the kickboxing portions, which they do a lot. No, these guys. I mean, because 2 of them have already fought. Excuse me, no, I think 3 of them have already fought in RIZIN already. So you're at least having some returning people. Yuya versus Masaya Jackie. He's a RIZIN returnee jockey, and Yuya is a fucking beast. He's really good. He's always on Rise shows. He probably would have been on the Rise show yesterday if they weren't if he wasn't booked for this RIZIN show. So I'm not surprised that he obviously took the RIZIN show over the Rise show, even though it was a big show, which I didn't watch yesterday. I have to get through all the fights maybe today or tomorrow. But Jockey's one of those what is it? Hoos Cup, I think it is. He's always on. He's one of those guys who started on the Hoos Cup. So
nice.
That will probably, I always say out of the 4 that they have, that will be probably the most high level of the kickboxing matches. Who is the other one? Okay,
well, it says Yuya versus Jockey. That's the 4th prelim, the main kickboxing bout. The one underneath that is Noda Aoi versus Yuta Uemura, and then
Wait
Shun. Wait more. Thank you. And then Shun Masuyama versus Shin Sakurai, and then Daichi Akihira versus Yuki Yoshioka.
Yeah, most of them are like deep kick, rise people. So
Okay.
listen, you're gonna get you know what you're getting with these. These aren't the these aren't the cream of the crop, but I think these are a little bit more high level guys than the Landmark 8 guys that were pre-filming. I think it was 4 for that. Was there 4 or 5? I can't remember.
Yeah, no, there was. You know what? I can't remember right now either. I want to say there was 4 as well. Remember, because there was 5 prelims, right? And there was 3 or 4 kickboxing, and then, oh wait, no, you know what? It might have been 3.
It was also MMA. It was all that's what's throwing me off because they had the MMA the prelim MMA stuff. Sorry, that's throwing me off. Okay.
The custom rules one, right? Right.
Yeah.
So okay, yeah. So this time I think there's one.
I'm sorry, I'm stupid. They had 4 kickboxing matches, but remember they had the one that opened the main card, the K1 versus Rise fights. So
yeah, that's right. So there was 4 on Landmark 8, so it's now 4 again. So hopefully,
at least for these 4, they should be. If at least 3 of the top 3, the starting from bottom up, 3 are bad. At least jockey will be good.
Okay, cool. So that's what we want, because we know we're not exactly kickboxing. We're kickboxing casuals basadly. I keep telling Jake Chris, everybody else.
Listen, there's 2. All those the Beyond Kick people. I admire them for the fact that they know like all these like Thai people and all these random kickboxers from like Nagoya who I could give a shit about. So not trying to be an asshole, but just like it's just the kickboxing rule is kind of like a Wild West when it comes to like records and footage and just a whole bunch of things.
Yeah. So hey, we appreciate the insight in these kickboxing bouts. They're kicking off the Landmark 9 card. So, how much phone juice do you have left? Do you want to do the rest of the card with us or no?
No, I'm definitely not giving enough time to do the rest of the card with you. I got maybe like 4 more minutes left.
Okay, Jake Chris, what do you want to do? We haven't. I mean, this is basically your show.
The kickboxing bouts. I mean, I was just sitting off in my own little world.
You want to go over the kickboxing bouts again?
No, I'm good because let's just face it, people are going to be watching. I mean, the people that are going to be watching that on the RIZIN YouTube channel, they would hope to be lucky to check them out because they don't archive their shit.
Yeah, I mean, well, I thought there was a video that was posted on RIZIN.tv where it's like an hour and a half long. They don't archive the individual fights. They archive the whole YouTube show. Because remember on Landmark 8, it was like an hour and a half of the first 5 fights or the first 4 fights, and they archived that entire hour and a half segment of YouTube instead of the individual fights like they do for the rest of the archive.
Mm-hmm.
I think the archives are, but has anybody actually signed up for that thing yet? Yeah.
Daniel has. I'm gonna do it. I'm just waiting because I don't know. They were saying it's for a yearly subscription, right? It's $180, and I was doing the math. And if they don't announce an event for May and June, dude, it's like the same exact price for just buying the individual events. Then there's not enough events to justify an annual price.
That's the issue when you come up with a subscription service. That means they're gonna, and they would, you would think they have to have more events, and that can be, that can be good or bad. I think it can be bad because it can mean oversaturation, and then you're just also what type of events would you be putting on? Would it be actually like legitimate, main event level type of stuff, or is this just going to be featuring local jobbers? So that's the issue. If you start doing your a UFC type thing where it's a fight every week, well, listen, you know how some of those shows are. Some of them are fucking awful. One's even at that point almost. I feel like there's one show every week, and it's like, does anybody actually watch those like one in Thailand or one in Philippines shows that they are on YouTube? No, nobody does, as far as I know. So You know, if you have like one event a month, that's fine. I think that's fair because that's 12 months. Maybe like one or double an event. I wish we could go back to the 2 events for the New Year's Eve. I'm fine with that. Yeah, so I think that'll have to be, or unless they offer some like great English stuff. Or you know what'd be great as well, if you with like your membership, you could get like 20% off a ticket if you ordered it from like, I don't know, if you like with your, I don't know, some fan clubs do that where if you are a member of the fan club, you get first dibs on tickets or 20% off tickets or whatever. If you go see a RIZIN show live in Japan, something like that. I don't know.
That's a great idea, especially for international audiences. I mean, a great little extra incentive to do the subscription.
They should have a free trial. They need to have a free trial. No, like if any streaming service that does not have a free trial at this point, I think is really myopic, because you're not going to just have everybody. The usual suspects will sign up, but you know, you're not going to really get a lot of new people if they can't try it out. You know, I guess YouTube is kind of their free trial service, because you kind of, I guess it can be still uploading to YouTube, I'm guessing, right? I don't see.
Yeah. And King CeeLo from the RIZIN Discord chat, he had a great idea saying, you know, if you're a little bit hesitancy about doing a subscription service, that you should wait until the Super RIZIN 3 event in June to start it. That way you'll get the maximum amount of value for a full annual subscription.
So a lot of Japanese subscription services, and I'm going to try to finish up with this. A lot of New Japan World does this, Noah does this, Wrestling Universe does it, where it starts. So say if you sign up on January 5th, it'll charge you at the end of the month. So like the first day of the next month. I don't know if this one is doing it, if RIZIN is doing it like that, but if it is, you know, I hate that. I hate that a lot.
No, we'll see. We'll talk to Daniel Zubicki, our Polish correspondent in the RIZIN Discord chat, and find out how it's going. Also, Privateer, he's from Germany in the Discord chat from Deutschland. He also is signed up for the annual subscription service, so we can find out from them in the RIZIN Discord chat how that's working out. So, to get back to your other point, Drew, before you leave, I know you got to leave us here pretty soon, but what about when they were doing 2 events a month, where they had a bundle? Remember, they had the bundle between the RIZIN numbered events in the ring and the RIZIN landmark event in the cage. Remember that? I used to love that. I thought that was great. I think they should do that. You know, they had 12 events a year, but also, you know, a little bit more on 12. Let's say about 15 or 16. Every couple of months, have 2 events a month.
No, I think who can you? There's not enough, because J Wolf, you're not thinking about selling tickets with an equal distribution of big names and regional guys whose entire family and gym are going to go see them. It's you're going to start scraping bottom of the barrel.
I don't know, not necessarily. We'll see. I mean, they're signing up. Did you see RIZIN 46? Me and Jay Chris were talking about this earlier.
By the way,
a lot of international fighters on RIZIN 46.
Those 2 shows were not good, by the way. Those 2 shows were not good, by the way. They were not 46. I think 46 was slightly better than Nagoya. Yeah.
We'll see. 46 is looking like a banger event.
You know what kind of fights you're gonna get? You're gonna get fights like Taka Kenshin versus Cody Jerberek. And that's what you're getting on your show.
46. Drew, count how many international fighters are on 46 already. There's a lot, okay? There's and as soon as your favorite fight is done, of course I'm talking about Mayweather Pacquiao 2, which is going to be probably New Year's Eve this year. Once that's done, they're going to have all this extra money that they made from pay-per-view and stuff, and ticket sales, gate money. They're going to have to sign international guys. And there's plenty of fighters out there. The Bellator, PFL, they're not going to be able to keep the entire Bellator roster. You saw they incorporated some into the PFL's season format, and there's still a bunch of other Bellator guys. That's why they're keeping the Bellator brand. They got complete contracts, and once that's done, once those 8 events are done this year, there's going to be a massive free agents class. And after that free agency period,
why are you assuming Mayweather and Pacquiao is going to make any money?
No, I'm saying once they're done booking that, It's going to free up money. They won't have to pay Mayweather
no,
anymore.
it doesn't make money.
Oh, God. Yeah, okay. They won't have to listen. The point is, they don't have to pay Mayweather anymore. And that's going to free up a bunch of money to go out and sign international guys. And there's going to be a massive free agency period after this year. And who knows what's going to happen with the UFC lawsuit in April? Are they going to settle? I mean, we don't know yet. That's coming up next month. That's another thing Sakaki Barasan was talking about, waiting to see what happens. So once all this stuff plays out, it could be really interesting. I mean, and like Jay Krish we were talking about earlier, for the upcoming international events, the one's possibly going to be in Uzbekistan. They're going to have a bunch of international, they're, just like they did for RIZIN Landmark 7 in Azerbaijan. They're going to be signing a bunch of international guys, just like when RIZIN first started. They had a bunch of international guys, Jiri Prochazka, Vadim Nemkov. I mean, dude, it's going to come back to that, Drew. So, and once they start signing international guys, in addition to the Japanese stars they're making, they could easily run 2 events a month, no problem. That would totally make the subscription service worth it.
I'll definitely this will definitely make it last one. I definitely think for the oh my God, what's the next show? I'm already, not after this show.
Landmark 9.
No, that's after Landmark 9. I'm forgetting.
46.
46. Sorry, yeah, 46. 46 had a lot more foreign fighters than I originally had thought. Granted, I think aren't 2 or 3 of them from Korea. That's that doesn't matter.
That counts.
The 3 of them from Korea, South Korea in particular.
That counts, Drew. That counts international fight.
I'm saying it does. I'm not saying it doesn't. But let's wait to see if that's going to continue.
Okay. That's fine.
It's going to be.
Me and Jay Krish were just talking about Super RIZIN 3. They're going to be bringing in Yusaki Yachi is being sent to Bellator, and they're going to send some guys back over. And me and Jay Krish are anticipating it's going to be for Super RIZIN 3. So yes, we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. I'm really excited to see that. That and also the pacing. If the pacing continues from Landmark 8.
Well, let's see if don't forget that's because Inoue's brother was boxing on that day. So
well, we'll see. We'll see. Landmark 9 is at the same start time, same number of fights. I cannot wait.
They're missing one.
No, remember? Well, you weren't here for the first part of the show, but Sakaki Barasan tweeted out he's going to add one more game to this card this week.
Well, first of all, we don't even. It's not going to be a big fight because if they're not, he's not going to tweet out a big fight. Second of all,
sure. Well, that's fine. As long as it's not kick.
We don't know if he's saying. I can't remember exactly what he said, but he's saying he would. I think the exact translation is he would like to add another fight on there.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that that's going to be their focus. So.
Well, yeah. we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Anyway, I do have to head out, guys. I'll make sure to listen to the archive.
Now that I have on, I mean, of course, Kome Day is saying, isn't Andrew out of the RIZIN news cycle? Jay Wolf schooling him.
Absolutely
not. Thanks, brother.
What I said. What?
Yes. Hey, screenshot that right there. Oh, thank you, Kome Day. Oh, God. That's great. Oh, I love it.
But still, since I have you on, I mean, can you tell me about the fact that you're going to be doing another review for this tomorrow? I probably might join you, even though I might be a little late to get on.
Yes, that'll be at 7 p.m. EST. Obviously, just watch on the RIZIN YouTube channel. That's the easiest place to watch it. But guys, I do have to head out right now. But yeah, I'll definitely make sure to listen to the whole show on archive.
All right, thanks, brother. Hey, that was great having you show up. That was cool.
Yeah, no problem, guys. It was a lot of fun.
No problem. And now that he's off, the phone line. Well, I wouldn't say the phone lines. We're not doing this on a fucking phone. We're doing this. Over a live stream. But still, if you want to get in and be heard, I'm going to go ahead and post a link to how you can get in the comments. Hopefully there won't be a whole stampede full of people trying to get on. But still, though, man, that's kind of fun that we basically have on this. Even if said fun, basically, well, even if this so-called fun isn't me talking, you know?
No, you're gonna be talking, Drew. I mean, excuse me, Jay Krish. You're gonna be talking right now. This is we were doing a great the first half hour before Drew showed up was us talking. It was great, a lot of good information. So let's keep that rolling. I mean, we've already done the first 4 kickboxing prelims. Do you want to start from the top, or do you want to go from the bottom up? They keep on from the prelims on.
You know what? Let's go ahead and start from the top down. That's like
Okay.
what I'm trying to mention because that's how I want to format this damn show. I mean,
Okay.
yeah, let's go ahead and start from the top down. Naoki Inoue versus Shoko Matsumitsu Sato. Now, of course, Shoko Matsumitsu Sato was supposed to be just a little feeder opponent for Shinobu Ota in his RIZIN debut after going through 6 fights of purgatory in that damned one championship.
What was his record in 1 2?
He was 4-2 in one. He was 4-2 in one championship. He's 2-1. He was 2-1 in Sengoku.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. But now he's basically making up for lost time and trying to get all that purgatory. Well, actually, trying to get all his purgatory issues back. And even though he's the most experienced of the two, would a fight between him and Inoue, who do you think has the bigger advantage?
Honestly, I'm gonna go with Inoue just because I think he's a better fighter, but we'll see. I mean, that's Sato. He's coming off a big win over Ota, right? So I mean, maybe he's got some momentum on his side. We'll see. But also, are you sure this is the main event, or is this just the one that Fight Tapology has put at the top? I thought it was.
It's Tapology, but again, we don't know the full card. We won't know the full card for at least the next few days because, like you said, and like Andrew implied on, Mr. Sakakibara is going to put on one more fight onto the fight card, so to speak.
Okay, well, because I mean, the poster, it has, I guess Inoue is at the top of the poster, but it has Satoshi-san, prominently in the middle of it. So, and he is the lightweight champion right now, even though it's a non-title fight. So I was thinking that he was going to be the main event, but I guess Inoue is. But okay, to answer your question, I think Inoue's a good, but he's coming off a loss to Juan Archuleta, right? So and Shoko Sato is coming off a win against Ota. So and he's got he's above 50%, above 500 in both one championship and Sengoku. So he's a good fighter as well, and he might be having the momentum on his side since he's coming off of a win. So I mean, I think it's pretty much a toss up here if this is the main event. So I'm excited to see how that plays out. So and you think that in a way could he be right back in the title conversation if he wins?
Probably, but I highly doubt that even with just a win for Inoue, it would even help him. He would need to go out there and have a spectacular performance in that cage. Now that I think about it, RIZIN Landmark is in a cage, RIZIN numbered shows are in a ring, guys are super RIZIN. Yeah. Inoue's going to definitely need to have a stellar performance in that ring. I mean, damn it, there we go. In the cage. He's going to need to have a stellar performance in order to break on through to title contention.
And you know how he could do that, Jay Krish? The superior rule set epicness. He could have a spectacular soccer kick or stomp finish and be right there in the title contention. So that's there's something about the cage and superior rule set just seems to bring out the action. So that was part of the reason why that damn one championship they banned soccer kicks and there. So we'll see how. And every previous RIZIN Landmark in the cage, there has been at least a fight or two that's had superior rule set action in it. So we'll see how it goes.
Here's the thing, though. I don't think we're going to see superior rule set anything from Inoue because out of the 16 wins that he has in mixed martial arts, 9 of those wins are via submission. He is a submission specialist. I don't think that he's going to be able to knock anybody out. I mean, Sato, on the other hand, out of his 35 wins in combat, he has 20 knockouts. So you could probably say that Sato is going to look to. No, you're probably going to say that Sato is going to look to sock out anyway. Wouldn't you think?
Yes, and if that happens, maybe Sato is going to be the one that gets into the title picture with knocking off Inoue. So maybe that's what might happen. What if Sato does a spectacular performance, has a spectacular superior rule set finish over a fighter like Inoue? Could that put him right in the title picture?
Most likely.
Okay, maybe that's what's going to happen. I mean, especially if that's the main event. So, I mean, I'm excited to see what the bout order is going to be. I'm excited to see how the performance is going to go. And like you're saying, Jay Krish, Inoue is a submission guy. So, and Sato, I mean, he's got more finishes, and I can't wait to see how he utilizes superior rule set. So we'll see what happens.
Mm-hmm. And of course, according to the Tapology Fight Predictor, they have it 90% for Inoue. I mean, maybe it's because of the fact that he's a former UFC fighter. Who knows?
That's probably it. Yeah, this UFC bias.
Exactly. Now, let's go ahead and move down the card. What should possibly be the co-main event. Koji Takeda taking on the under 500 Underground Emperor Kyohei Hagiwara. Now, when it comes down to Takeda, he's basically fought most of the big names when he gets off the damn tanning bed. But still, though, when it comes down to Takeda, whose skin is no darker than mine, but still, you know what? Let me go ahead and stop being an asshole. Because the last thing I would want is somebody to fly 6,000 miles from the Eastern Hemisphere to beat my ass for stupid jokes. But still, all bullshit aside, Takeda is riding a 3-fight losing streak. Takeda lost to Gatsi Rabadanov on New Year's Eve 2022 in the RIZIN Bellator portion of RIZIN 40. He lost to Luis Killer Gustavo back in April of last year. He got knocked out by Tofik Musayev at RIZIN Landmark 7, and that was his most recent fight. So he's currently on the downswing of his career so far.
But remember, that was at a weight class up. That was at 155 pounds at lightweight. This is his first time dropping down to featherweight, right? Yeah. Okay, so that's interesting here, and they got him at a. I mean, Kyoji Hagiwara is arguably one a budding star.
We get to that. Hagiwara, aside from winning against Kyle Agin at RIZIN 41 last April, he's a loser of 4 of his last 5 and is now 7-8 overall. I mean, which do you think benefits? I mean, let's go ahead and give you the particulars real quick. Hagiwara is 7-8 overall, 5 of his 8 wins by way of knockout. Takeda is 15-6 overall, 7 of his 15 wins by way of finish, 5 submissions and 2 knockouts. But still, though, when it comes down to this particular fight, which way do you think the pendulum swing as far as advantage goes?
Honestly, I would go with Takeda because he's the one. He's going to be the bigger fighter because he's dropping down from 155 pounds. He's used to fighting bigger guys, and he's got excellent wrestling. He loves a suplex. He's got excellent throws, everything. So I'm going to give the advantage to him. But Hagiwara has shown great promise, even though, like you're saying, he's lost a bunch, but that was to grapplers and stuff. But he has shown that he has improved his grappling and takedown defense. So it's going to be really interesting. And he won't be drained like Takeda. So it'll be really interesting to see because Hagiwara has been improving every single fight, even in those losses. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this one goes. But, I mean, is the weight cut going to drain a lot out of Takeda? Is Hagiwara going to be able to deal with Takeda's takedowns and grappling prowess? I mean, I don't know. It's going to be real interesting to see how that one plays out. I think it's a pretty good matchmaking, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it is good matchmaking. I mean, obviously, it's good. It could also be one of the fights that could either make or break Hagiwara. I mean, especially considering the fact that he's an action fighter, he's team smoker all the way. But I do think that, you know, Takeda's gonna be the main one giving him problems.
Yeah, because Takeda's wrestling ability is really high level. I mean, do you think he's going to be able to I think he'll be able to suplex Hagiwara because, like I said, it's a whole weight class down from where he's used to, and he was suplexing guys at lightweight almost every single fight. So I mean, it's going to be a lot for Hagiwara to deal with. So we'll see how it plays out.
Exactly, exactly. And now let me go ahead and put back the comment that Cold May Day just said.
Oh yeah, yes, I was reading that. He's
Yeah,
saying that he agrees with us that Satoshi might be the main event. So we'll see. But I'm glad you put that up there because I wanted to say something about that too. Obviously, because we were talking about that and guessing that maybe Satoshi's got it because Satoshi is the lightweight former. He's not the former. He is the current lightweight champion. And the only reason they got him in a non-title fight this time is because he's coming off of a loss because he was a short notice loss. He saved a card, the Bellator, last Bellator Rising card. If you remember, it was
Horizon 2 when he
yes.
was the sacrificial lamb to Patricky Pitbull.
That's because Patricky was on a full fight camp. Satoshi basically just got off his couch like a week before that event because Patricky was supposed to fight AJ McKee. And remember that was the lightweight Grand Prix, and AJ McKee got staph infection the week before, and he had to be pulled out. So Satoshi-san did the Epic Rising and Bellator a favor by stepping up and saving that lightweight Grand Prix fight on the card and fought Patricky with less than a week notice. So I don't really hold that against him at all.
Mm-hmm. And his only win in the span, he's 1-2 in his last 3. As We Are Rising podcast, Andrew Benjamin's basically putting this over. Satoshi fought against Spike on May 6th, beating Spike Carlisle in, I guess, the co-main event. It wasn't even the main event. But still, though, when it comes down to Satoshi, this is yet another non-title fight for the lightweight champion, and he's going up against Kita Keitaro Nakamura, who obviously everybody knows. He's a former 3 fights in Goku veteran, a 1 fight Bellator vet. Well, we don't really count the 1 fight Bellator or anything because those.
No, why not?
I mean, seriously, he fought in RIZIN. No, he fought as a RIZIN representative under K. No, let me go ahead and calm down for a second. That 1 fight that he had in Bellator was under RIZIN rules. I mean, thankfully, we can see the fights through memes. But
we can see it in Davy Jones's locker, courtesy of Jolly Roger.
But the point of the matter is, aside from people only knowing him because of his UFC run, which he had 2 runs in the promotion, I think. I mean, people only know him because he's married to Shizuka Shion Sugiyama, who is a New York City native. But still, though, point of the matter is that Roberto Satoshi de Souza, aside from the fact that he's 15-3, he is a submission ace. 14 of his 15 wins come by way of finish, 10 submissions and 4 knockouts, compared to Kita Keitaro Nakamura, who at 36-11-2 has 17 of his 36 wins via submission, and obviously 8 via knockout. 25 of his 36 wins via finish. But still, though, if you look at the record right now, I mean, obviously, you look at somebody in Nakamura who's 3-2 in his last 5, just had 1 fight over the last 5 years. And that was a knockout win over another fellow UFC ex-fighter, Kiichi Strasser Kunimoto. do you think that De Souza, knowing how RIZIN does these non-title bouts, do you think that De Souza might be in complete danger, even though this is not for the title?
Of course, yeah. I mean, Nakamura is a veteran, like you were saying. So, I mean, the veterans know how to fight, obviously. That's why he's been able to get a record of 35-11. So, but look, Satoshi's coming in on a full camp this time, and he's one of the best Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu fighters in the game for the lighter weight divisions. And to me, I think this is the reason it's a non-title fight is to get Satoshi a chance to get back in the win column after stepping up short notice to save the Bellator card. They're trying to get him a non-title fight, so they get him back in the win column, get momentum back before they put him in a title fight against a hungry young contender. So, and if Keitaro Nakamura is able to pull off the upset here, then obviously that's going to be the next for. They're not just going to let him go. Oh, you beat the champion. Now you to the. No, they're going to match him up for the title again. They're going to rematch right away for the title, the next bout. So that's what Nakamura is fighting for. If he can beat Satoshi, even though it's a non-title fight, it's still huge. It still means something, and they will be rematched for the title at the next event, 100%.
Yeah, of course. And Andrew basically just said, just looked at his last. No, he just looked it up. His fight at RIZIN 41 was third from Maine, not even the co.
Well, that's what Tapology says. Like Code Mayday was saying, we don't know yet for sure. The official bout order has not been released yet. That's just Tapology's guess of what the fight order is going to be, right? So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I mean, but Satoshi is definitely one of the biggest stars on the card. But dude, the next fight that we're going to talk about, to me, that's a main event in and of itself.
Before we even get to talking about that particular fight, no, wait. I mean, I know that you're going to talk about it next, but still, though, who do you see winning this fight? Because I'm going to go ahead and check out the Tapology predictor. They're saying that Roberto Satoshi de Souza is going to beat Nakamura, Keitaro, 92% out of 8%. I mean, 92% compared to 8%, and Takeda will beat Hagibor 94% to 6%. But still, though, who do you think going to win this fight, and how do you think it's going to go?
Yeah, I agree with that. And get back in the win column, get that momentum back. Because he's just, like I said, he's one of the best Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu fighters of the lighter weight division and the entire sport. It's a really excellent fighter. So, and now he's got a full camp coming to this fight in a full camp. So he's dangerous. He's a dangerous fighter. So I'm expecting a submission win, definitely. Like I said, to get back in the W column, get that momentum back, and then the next bout will be for a title, 100%. Either way, if he wins or loses, the next bout will be for a title. If he wins, he's going to face a young, hungry contender. If he loses, he's going to rematch Keitaro for the title. So that's either way, he's going to be for the title next after this.
Yeah, of course. And now let's go ahead and skirt a little bit into. No, let's go ahead and basically move away from the men's bouts for women, get to the lone women's fight of the card. And that is the shoot boxing goddess Reina Kubota versus, from South Korea, the Road FC Atomweight champion Yuri Shim. Now, Kubota, who holds a record of 13-5, 9 of her 13 wins by way of finish, 7 knockouts, 2 submissions, 12-4 in RIZIN. She is coming off of probably, I mean, let's just face it right now. Everybody knows Japan storyline. And only fought in almost a year, Reina that is, after losing via knee bar to Claire Lopez, which Claire Lopez has now, and I hate to say it, even though she's probably watching this, failed to capitalize on the opportunities of becoming really a top star in RIZIN. I don't know why that's the case. Maybe it's because she's been outmatched in each of her fights since the win over Reina Kubota. But still, though, Reina's been sitting on the sidelines for a little over 11 months. and she's been just wanting to get into competition again. And who better to get into competition against than with the member of Team Genius fighting out of Daejeon, South Korea? That Yuri Shim, 6-3 overall. Half of her wins by way of finish, 2 knockouts and a submission. She is the current Road FC Atomweight champion, a title previously held by Hamdale Silva Seohee Ham which of course she vacated after she dropped both her Road FC title and her RIZIN Super Atomweight World title to go fight in Purgatory. I mean, that gambling championship. Even she is gonna need to shake off a little bit of cage rust because she hasn't fought in 2.5 years coming into this fight. So both ladies are coming in with some cage rust. Reina after 11 months, Yuri Shim after 2.5 years. I mean, first of all, before I ask what will be your thoughts about this fight, what are your thoughts about this fight? 74% of the Tapology predictors are saying that Yuri's going to lose this fight. That be it, Reina's going to win. But still, though, you look at the fight and you look at the fact that both of these women have had significant amounts of time off. Who do you think has the advantage?
Well, first of all, to answer your question, I absolutely love this fight. I think it should be, if not the co-main, arguably one of them, because Reina Kubota is a superstar in Japan. I call it a striker queen. You guys call it a shootboxing queen or shootboxing goddess. I mean, she's just amazing. She's a superstar for Japan and women's MMA. She's gorgeous, and she's fighting another beautiful woman. This is a certified hot girl fight right here. I absolutely love it. And Reina, like you said, is coming off a lot. They're both coming off of a long layoff, so they both have to deal with ring rust or cage rust, whatever. So I mean, there's no one has an advantage on that part. Reina, she went and started training with Tiger Muay Thai, so she's got her striking skills at the absolute peak. So I mean, Yuri, I'm looking forward to this. I think Reina, as you know, the reason I call her a striker queen is because she has some of the best striking in the game, especially for a woman. I mean, she has the nicest flying stomp probably since Shogun Hua. I mean, that's how good it is. She's just incredible. Her stomps, she knows the assignment. I mean, almost every single fight, she does a superior rule set action, throwing stomps, soccer kicks, and my favorite, the flying stomp, is just absolutely gorgeous the way she throws it. I think she should be teaching a seminar on that, across Japan. She should literally be teaching a seminar on how to do flying stomps correct. It's that gorgeous of a strike for her. And that loss to Claire Lopez, if you remember, that was a comeback win for Claire Lopez. Reina was doing fantastic in that bout, and it's because of the cage. She's not used to fighting in the cage, so.
Because when it comes down to the fights that she's had in a cage, she's been underwhelming.
Exactly. So that's why that's another factor where you can't just count out Yuri Shim because she doesn't have as much experience or fights as Reina, and she has more ring rust. Whatever, you can't count out because Reina is in a cage again, and Reina has not fared that well in a cage. That's actually how she lost to Claire Lopez, because Claire Lopez utilized the cage to get that knee bar. Some people say she cheated a little bit because she kind of had her toes in the cage for leverage, right? So I mean, the cage has been a real detriment to Reina in her fights. So will that happen again, or will she finally be able to conquer that, climb that mountain, and get over the hill and actually win and win spectacularly in the cage like she does in the ring? So, but Yuri Shim, like you were saying, she's a good fighter as well. She's current road atomweight queen. So she's a good fighter as well. So like I said, both beautiful women. They've been making the rounds, doing the pressers and stuff. Kakibara-san's had Yuri Shim on some shows. They're both popular, obviously, because they're both beautiful women. So, but I think Reina beats her on that edge already. So, but also Reina she should fire a hairdresser because someone convinced her to cut her beautiful long hair short. And I personally can't stand those haircuts. I don't think it looks good on her. But will that have like a Samson effect for her?
You saying you don't like Raina's new tomboy haircut?
No, I don't. And what I'm worried about, will it have a Samson effect? And of course, I'm talking about Samson from the Bible, where God granted Samson superhuman strength to, and where as long as he had his long hair out, and once he cut it, Delilah, a woman, tricked him into cutting his hair, and that's how he lost his strength and was able to be kept. Anyways, but the Bible history aside, will that have a Samson effect on Raina having her hair cut short? Because we've seen other women that happen to as well. One of the clearest examples I can think of is Hamasaki and oh gosh, I can't remember right now because we're live. I'm sorry, gosh. But anyways,
you know what? It's like the video game nerd says, or it's like one of these angry nerd accounts on this damn site, YouTube, says, "I remember, so you won't have to."
Yeah. No, but hey, I'm really looking forward to this bout. All joking aside, it's going to be really fun. It is the lone women's bout on the card, and we're still in Women's History or Women's Month, basically, right? So it is Women's History Month. Okay, yeah. So I'm really looking for these ladies to put on a show. I'm really looking to see how Raina's going to look, if she's finally going to get over the hump in the cage and get that W. Just return to form. And she's been training at Tiger Muay Thai, shoring up those striking skills. So I'm really looking forward to seeing if she can get a superior rule set finish. I would love to see her get a flying stomp finish, because like I said, she's just got the most beautiful flying stomp technique that we've seen since Shogun Hua. I mean, it's that good. So I mean, no disrespect to Yuri Shim, because she's a good fighter too, but I am definitely rolling with striker queen Reina Kubota in this one.
Now, it comes down to Ayaka Hamasaki. Are you referring to one of the two Izawa fights, or the fight that you recently had with Siwoo Park?
I think it was before one of the Izawa fights. Didn't she have longer hair and then she cut it real short for a tomboy haircut in the Izawa fight, or no? Am I mistaken on that one?
Would probably be. I mean, I think you would probably be right, to be honest.
Okay, yeah. So that's what I was talking about with the Samson effect. From the Bible history, if you know your Bible history and who Samson is, that's what I mean when I talk about the Samson effect. You cut your long hair, you lose some strength, and you lose in the cage or ring. So could that be happening here? That's another factor to watch out for in this fight as well. So we'll see how it plays out. But I'm hoping Raina can overcome all and get the W, get back in the win column, get back on the title track. She was looking like she was going to be challenging for the title, because that's one of the bouts they want to make in the future, right? Is striker queen Raina versus Sika Izawa. That will be a superstar matchup for women's mixed martial arts in Japan. So I mean, and a win here for Raina puts her right back on that path to challenge Sika Izawa. So we'll see how it goes.
Of course. Sorry, just needed to shake myself back up again. But I get exactly what you mean. Sorry. I mean, I know despite my middle name, every time I hear anything about, I mean, I don't want to sound like just, full of hell and all that, but it's like every time I hear about religion, I just get sleepy, to be honest with you. But I mean,
even the Bible, even the Samson story, man, that's one of my favorites.
I understand, but still, though, I mean, that don't mean I'm not a God-given human being. I've been through a lot of my battles in life, and I hope not to go through many more. But still, though, point of the matter is, let's keep on going.
Let's roll. Let's keep it rolling.
Yeah, I don't want you to make me think like I'm somebody I'm not. But still, though.
Oh, don't worry. You want to just give a shout out real quick? Just go Christ is Lord or Christ is King real quick. For all the haters.
But still, though, let's go ahead and keep it going, man. But
all right, let's roll. Let's keep it rolling. What's the next one?
I think the next fight is a welterweight fight. The rare unicorn of the RIZIN Fighting Federation, obviously, that's now getting a lot more attention because of Igor the Fat Ninja Tanabe. Dude's 5-0 in RIZIN. All 5 wins are by way of first round submission. No, wait, actually, no. Let me rephrase that. All 5 of his wins in mixed martial arts so far are by way of first round submission. Triangle choke over Hiroyuki Shimizu. Heel hook against Melvin Manoff. Heel hook against Daichi Abe. Triangle choke against Koji, Animal Koji Shikuwa, and rear naked choke just recently back at RIZIN 45 over Shinzo the Animal Ansai. I mean, I swear, this dude is supposed to be the future of RIZIN. And RIZIN needs to hold on to him, keep him as carefully as they can keep him, protect him in a block of ice or something so that he can be the submissionary of the future or something. But still, though, point of the matter is, much like that third fight he had as a professional. Much like the second fight he had as a professional when he took on Melvin No Mercy Manoff, or what was left of him anyways, he's going to be facing off against a top star, who is going to prove a tough test to him, and that's Kichi Strasa Kunimoto. All 42 years of age, 5'10" and 170 pounds of him, who's been around the block just about everywhere. He's fought in the UFC. He's fought in RIZIN. He's fought in Bellator. Well, once as a Bellator competitor, the other under RIZIN rules. But now he's a loser 4 of his last 5. I mean, even, of course, winning on the first RIZIN Trigger show. But still, though, point of the matter is, I'm not going to say easily, Igor Tanabe is going to win via first round submission, because we've already seen that. We don't want, it would be cool to see him get that Mike Tyson vibe, have him just be a submissionary for every single fight, just making people tap out like it's must-see TV, like how Tyson's fights were must-see TV when he was knocking everybody out 4 decades ago. But do you think that Kunimoto is going to be, Kichi Strasser Kunimoto is going to prove to be a tough test for Tanabe?
I don't know, man. We'll see, because Igor Tanabe has been really impressive. And remember, he was fighting up in weight before, and now he's being able to drop all the way down to welterweight. Man, he looked impressive at heavier weight classes too, right? So now he's all the way down at welterweight. I don't know, man. He might be a force to be reckoned with at this weight class. So, I'm sure, look, Kichi Kunimoto is a veteran, so he obviously knows what he's doing in there. So maybe he will provide a nice, good test for Tanabe. But I just think Tanabe is like you were saying, Jay Krish, he's the future of especially of this division for the Epic RIZIN. So no, I see Tanabe winning. And he's steamrolled his previous opponents, right? He's not. I don't think he's ever seen a decision or the third round. So
second round, to be honest with you.
Oh, he hasn't even seen the second round either? Oh, wow, that's even better than I thought. So yeah, the guy is a phenomenal fighter, and now he's at the lowest weight class he can get to at this, that like you like to coin, Jay Krish, the unicorn weight, a welterweight in Japan. So it's he's gonna be a force to be reckoned with. So especially if he can make this weight comfortably, then he is definitely gonna be a force to be reckoned with. So as long as he's not too drained from the weight cut, it's gonna be a bad night for Kunimoto. He's gonna get pretzeled up and submitted. It depends on which round. How long can Kunimoto last? Can he make it go all the way to the third round, or is he gonna get blown out again in the first round, like Tanabe is done to the rest of his opponents? So we'll see how it goes.
Exactly. And if you look at Kunimoto's record in RIZIN competition, yeah, it says that he's 3 and I mean, yeah, it says that he's 3-2 in RIZIN so far. But if you look at the fight in RIZIN, Satoru Kitaoka, Ryuichi Sumimura, Takahiro Kawanaka, Daichi Abe, and Keitaro Nakamura. I mean, would you say that that's better competition than what Tanabe's had to come up against, including Melvin Manoff?
Yeah, I would say so, because Tanabe, I think I mean, granted, Manoff's a legend, obviously, but I mean, when Tanabe faced him, he was older, obviously, so. But I just think that, even the heavier guys that Tanabe's faced, I don't think they're on the. I mean, no. To answer your question simply, Jay Krish, no. Strategy, Kichi Kunamoto's competition has been better than what Tanabe's faced so far. This is definitely going to be one of the toughest tests of Tanabe's career. So, well, let me see. Let me look it up real quick just to make sure. But because I'm going off straight memory right now, but let me see. Yeah, no, this is definitely. I mean, besides Abe, this is definitely his toughest test to date for Igor, 100%.
Oh yeah, exactly. Especially considering the fact that, yeah, what am I trying to say? Kichi's been everywhere that Igor has not, so to speak. He's fought around the world. He's basically fought in front of American television viewers before. He's fought against worldwide audiences before. But Tanabe is, I mean, we've talked more about this fight we've talked more about this fight than the average amount of time that Tanabe has actually has actually fought. And Colt Mayday is saying, I thought Tanabe was going to be facing Keitaro, then Satoshi versus Keitaro happened. So I guess Keitaro just trimmed down 15 pounds because he didn't want to deal with Tanabe. But still, point is, when it comes down to this particular fight, it's going to be to see how long Kichi can force Igor to use that gas tank of his.
Yeah, great point. Can Igor? What happens if it goes to the third round? Will Igor's gas tank hold up, especially at a lower weight like welterweight? Right? Is this his first time in welterweight? I forgot to look that up as well.
No, he's fought at welterweight. I think coming up on twice now.
Okay. So he's already proven at welterweight, but he's not been proven past the first or second round, right? So will his gas tank hold up at welterweight?
Not been proven past the first.
Okay, so again, that's a question. Is Kunamoto going to be able to take him into the later rounds, the second and third round, right? And is Tanabe's gas tank going to be able to hold up if he goes into those later rounds? Those are great questions that we're going to get answered here in this fight. So I think Kunamoto is, he might get steamrolled, but I don't know. He's good enough to where he could force Tanabe to go in the second and third round. So it's going to be real interesting to see how Tanabe deals with that.
Yeah, of course. And I'm not even going to get into the topology predictor. Let's just say it's not looking good for Kunimoto. If your predictor is basically saying you have a 4% chance of winning, what chance do you really got? None.
Hey, but it's a fight, though. You never know. But what if he takes the third round and Igor gasses? I
don't know. We'll have to see. But the point
that's right.
For right now, Topology is saying that he ain't got a snowball's chance in HE double hockey sticks.
Well, hey, those Topology predictions have been wrong before, but they're probably right on this one.
But now, let's drop 45 pounds lower into the RIZIN flyweight division. And the fight is going to be something incredible, but then again, it's also something that's going to be deemed as a cry for help for one of the fighters. because you got Urson Batman Yamamoto, 4-6 overall, half of his wins by way of knockout, 3-6 in the RIZIN ring or cage since coming into RIZIN back in 2015. I mean, pretty much all but one of his fights have been in RIZIN competition, but he's had cage experience before fighting for King of the Cage. This will be his first fight in the RIZIN cage when he takes on deep veteran Yuya Monkey Shibata, who is 18-7 overall. And as I'm basically doing this on the fly, excuse me, but still though, he is a former deep flyweight and strawweight title challenger and has also experienced fighting guys like Makoto Shinryu Takahashi, Haru Ochi, Naoki Inoue, and Tatsumi Suwada, just to name a few. Oh, and Kiyomizu as well. And Yuki Motoya as well. But still, point of the matter, Urson is fighting for the first time, not only in a cage, but since his mother Miyu retired from the sport that she basically had to hold up to love ever since Uncle Norifumi passed away. By the way, this week would have marked his 47th birthday, I think. 46th, 47th, I'm not sure. All I'm just saying is rest in peace, Kid Yamamoto. You're in our hearts forever. But still, though, when it comes down to Urson Yamamoto, who is now 4-6 in his 10 fights so far as a professional mixed martial artist, do you think that this fight against Yuya Monkey Shibata, who is making his RIZIN debut, is a make or break fight for him?
Yeah, it's probably for both of them. To me, this is about right here. Remember, Sakakibara-san was talking about when he was talking about Grand Prix, right? Because that's obviously what I've been. If you guys know me from the show and from the We Are Rising podcast and all that, I love the Grand Prix, and I've been asked about Grand Prix and if there's going to be a flyweight Grand Prix. And Sakakibara-san has made a statement where he wants to, he didn't commit to doing a Grand Prix this year, but said it's probably going to happen, but that he wants to build into a Grand Prix, right? So to me, and one of the target weight classes for that Grand Prix would be flyweight. And to me, this fight right here is a perfect building block into that Grand Prix right here. Whoever wins this bout is a prime candidate to be thrown into the flyweight Grand Prix of the future, hopefully this year. So, I think it is, to answer your question, yeah, it's a make or break for both fighters here, especially for Urson. Is he coming off a couple losses or is he coming off a win?
Oh, he's actually coming off a loss back on September 24th, which marked 5 years since Kid Yamamoto passed away due to cancer. But it was off of a doctor stoppage because he wanted to. I remember this fight vividly from RIZIN 44. He wanted to continue to fight against Ryuya Fukuda, but the referee basically told him no, that was it, after just taking uninhibited amounts of punishment during that fight.
Oh, okay.
Don't you?
Yeah. So he's looking to bounce back in this fight right here. But is Shibata, is he coming off a win or is he coming off a loss?
Actually, Shibata is coming into RIZIN on a 2-fight winning streak. However, he hasn't fought in over a year.
Ooh, okay. So he's dealing with ring rust, but at least he's not coming off a loss. So
that those back-to-back wins are by way of triangle choke.
Oh, okay. So he's going to be, but hey, both Urson also has excellent grappling, right? Because he's a Yamamoto, and of course they have excellent wrestling, like his mom Miyu, excellent wrestler, so he's got some grappling as well. So we'll see how it goes. He's looking to get back in the win column, and this is, he's coming off a loss, but albeit, because he wanted to continue in the rep, but said no, but whatever. He wants to get it back in the win column here, clearly. And Shibata's dealing with ring rust, even though he's coming off with 2 wins, submission wins, so he's not going to be able to grapple like that versus Urson. Well, we'll see if he's able to or not. but I don't think he will because Urson he knows his wrestling and grappling. So we'll see how he deals with that. And hey, do you know if the Epic Rising still allow them to wear wrestling shoes into the ring or cage?
I do not know. You would have to ask Shingo Kashiwagi about that. By the way,
Okay.
shout out to Shingo Kashiwagi and
Absolutely. Shout out to Shingo. Absolutely, 100%.
But yeah, again, shout out to Shingo. Shout out to Hafid Darbaki, who are basically doing their
Yeah.
as the two-man power trip running the RIZIN English language operations. But still, though, I don't know if RIZIN allows for fighters to wear wrestling shoes anymore because, again, if you're wearing wrestling, I mean, we've seen this time and again in JMMA where if you wear wrestling shoes, I mean, we've even seen this time and again in MMA in general. If you wear shoes, you can't kick. So, you know.
Well, isn't it RIZIN? You just can't stomp, right? They can still kick, but they can't stomp.
Right.
Okay. And hasn't Urson in every single one of his previous RIZIN fights, hasn't he always worn wrestling shoes?
I would think so, to be honest. I mean, it's what his uncle used to do.
Right. So it's gonna be real interesting to see if he does that in this fight as well. In the cage. I mean, I think this is the first one in the cage for RIZIN, right? So it's gonna be interesting to see if he wears wrestling shoes in the cage this time for his RIZIN fight. So
in RIZIN, his second cage fight overall.
Oh, okay. Do you remember if he wore shoes in his first cage fight?
I don't think he did, considering that he fought for King of the Cage and it was under California state rule. No.
Okay. So it wasn't right. Oh, that doesn't matter. Don't even bother wasting time looking up. I thought he had fought in the RIZIN cage before. So I thought that's what you were alluding to. So this is his first time in the RIZIN cage. So it'll be interesting to see if they let him wear wrestling shoes in the RIZIN cage and how he does. So, but I think the winner of this bout is a prime candidate for the flyweight Grand Prix. So
it'd be hard to say considering the fact that, again, Urson is under 500 as a fighter. And Colt Mayday is saying no kicks with wrestling shoes. Kid did not use wrestling shoes after that rules change. But still though, when it comes down to Urson, he's under 500 still. I don't think he'd be qualifying for any Grand Prix or any tournament of any kind with a bracket to be filled out.
I don't know. Hey, he's got the name. He's got the name Yamamoto. He's got the family lineage. So we'll see.
I mean, yeah, of course. And I mean, you talking about tournaments. Meanwhile, right now, I'm looking at a bunch of crazy college students dancing because their teams just made it into the NCAA tournaments.
Hey, tournaments. Everybody loves tournaments, bro. Everybody. It's one of the best things in sport. And we just saw with kickboxing, Rise, they should have had tournaments on their El Dorado card. It probably would have made that card a lot better. The Glory kickboxing card, it was 8-man one-night tournament, was sensational and easily beat the Rise card last night. And we're going to see the King K1 event this Wednesday resurrect their Grand Prix tournaments. And so, I mean, it just makes it better, you know? So
I can't believe that they're even going to be airing it on Triller TV in this country, which used to be Fight TV, but it's still Triller powered by Fight.
Oh, I can't wait. I cannot wait to buy it and contribute money to King K1. We've been wanting to do this for so long. You know, I mean, we don't have to use VPN, none of that BS that we had to do before. So this is to me so great. I can't wait. And then, you know, of course, we've always been contributing money and buying the Epic RIZIN. You know, got to contribute and support the Superior Rule Set. They're the only ones that do the Superior Rule Set, the true Superior Rule Set, with stomps included everything. So, and I can't wait for them to get back to the Grand Prix as well for hopefully this year. Because they were the only ones that do the true Grand Prix, which is the Almighty Pride FC style, where they have 2 fights in one night for the final. You know, so it's gonna be real. But we'll see. Look, to answer your question, or not question, to counter your statement, if Urson wins even though he's below 500, he's still a big name fighter because of his family name and everything, right? So if he wins, I still would put him in one of the brackets and it depends on how big they make the bracket as well. Is it going to be a 16-man, the opening round, 16-man for the Grand Prix, flyweight Grand Prix, or is this going to be 8 men, and do that for the second half of the year? So we'll see how it goes, but I could easily see this bout being a quote-unquote qualifier, unofficial qualifier for a flyweight Grand Prix later this year.
Yeah, you can definitely say that. You can definitely say that. Oh, and the Tapology predictor saying that Erson has an 11% chance at winning this fight.
That's it?
Yeah.
So Tapology thinks he's going to get his ass whipped, huh? Wow, interesting.
I mean, they wouldn't be lying. I mean, like I said, dude's under 500. He's been known to fight the odds many times so far in his now 9-year MMA career.
But the other guy's coming off of a 2-year, you said a 2-year ring rust, right?
Half year.
Oh, half year. Okay. That's not as bad as I thought. I thought it was over a year. So maybe they're right on that. So we'll see. Maybe this could be a new flyweight challenger being born right here. Who knows?
Hopefully so. And now we move back up to the featherweight division as former Glory Slam tournament winner and K1 kickboxer Yuta the Smiling Sniper Kubo continues his MMA journey in the RIZIN cage this time around. Nagging and annoying wife aside.
You talking about Sarah? Oh, CJ's going to get so mad at you for saying that.
I know that when it comes down to Sarah Kubo, she is pretty much the star of whenever Yuta Kubo fights. But still, though, you have to think, enough will be enough. Especially when it comes down to the fact that the last time Kubo was fighting, wasn't it he that was looking up in the Raptors for his fight with Rukia Ampo trying to see who was performing for him?
No. You mean he didn't lose his last fight? He wasn't looking. He didn't get knocked out and was looking up in the rafters. Oh, you mean for his walkout?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Yes. That's what happened for his walkout, where he's looking up in the rafters. So, but he did not lose his last fight. And as a matter of fact, in one of his most recent cage fights, he put on one of the best performances of the night. He had actual 12-6 elbow TKO.
Oh,
I think it was the first one of this new era.
Yeah, when he beat up Dragon Gate wrestler Keisuke Okuda.
Yeah, and during that beatdown, it was a 12-6 elbow TKO. It was freaking awesome. I absolutely loved it. It was great to see from a kickboxing crossover actually utilize the wrestling and grappling, take the opponent down, and utilize ground and pound. And not only ground and pound, the superior rule set 12-6 elbows ground and pound to get a sensational finish that way. It was great to see from Yuta Kubo.
Exactly, but the point of the matter is, he's 3-1 as a mixed martial artist. Really 3-2 in RIZIN if you count that embarrassment of a fight that he had with that idiot Shibatar.
That was an exhibition. That don't count.
Doesn't. But still, though, point of the matter is Kubo will be facing off against another RIZIN debutant. That will be Ryogo Kaitai Takahashi, who is 14-7-1. Hasn't fought in a little over a year. Actually, let me rephrase that. He hasn't fought since Christmas Eve when he had a draw at Pancrase 340 against Sangwon Kim. But, of course, aside from the fact that he fought in Shudo for 7 years and, if I'm not mistaken, was the former Shudo lightweight champion, he also is known for spending, again, 3.5 years of purgatory in
that damn one championship.
And he 2-4 record to show for it. But still, though, when it comes down to this fight, you got Kubo, who has fought more recently for RIZIN as New Year's Eve. let's face it, he's not really the worst fighter of them all. He's got, out of three of his wins, two of those wins are by finish in the first round. Obviously, the beatdown of Keisuke Okuda and the chokeout of Rukia Ampo in the battle of former kickboxers back on New Year's Eve. Do you think that Kubo is really finding his niche in MMA?
I don't know. We're gonna see. Like I said, I'm still riding high off of that ground and pound 12-6 elbow TKO that he did. That was really impressive. But this is a really tough opponent for him. I'm sure that the Tapology has him losing, so I would hope that he would be able to pull off the upset here. But I mean, we're gonna see.
But once Tapology got their shit together and they actually have him winning, 85% of the fans on Tapology are saying that he's going to win this fight.
Really? Oh, cool. Oh, I hope that happens. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I hope that happens. Good. That'd be great. I mean, like I said, he's one of my favorite kickboxing crossovers in the Epic RIZIN. I mean, just I can't get over enough. I can't praise him enough for doing a 12-6 elbow TKO. That was fantastic to see. Hope he does something similar, because that obviously shows he knows the assignment, that what we want to see, which is a superior rule set action. So hopefully he does another spectacular superior rule set performance in this one.
Yeah, of course. And I basically am sorry for bashing his wife, even though, of course, she is the star.
CJ is gonna beat the shit out of you if you keep talking about Sarah like that.
Take a nonstop flight from Narita to Hobby
Okay.
down here.
He's gonna be on the next flight over after he sees this Focus Fights podcast. He's like, Jay Chris, I told you not to talk about Sarah like that.
Of course. But still, the point of the matter is, I do think that Kubo got something to the table when it comes down to his MMA career. At least I hope that for him, it'll be worth watching as he continues to progress. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah. Oh, you talking about Kubo? Absolutely, yes, of course. His performance. Win or lose, he's one to watch. See how he progresses in the sport. Absolutely. Like I said, he's a great kickboxing crossover. So I love those. I'll go all the way back to Crow Cop and Mark Hunt and all of them. I love the kickboxing crossovers. All the way back to Sammy Schilt. And you remember in the original UFC, I love kickboxing crossovers. So, it's just, yes. Yeah, you definitely one to watch. Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, of course. And now let's go ahead and at least move up a division. Actually move down a division, and that would be the bantamweight division. Yuto Kentaro Hokumura versus Taiki Lightyear Subota. Hokumura 14-13-2 overall. Obviously, we know him. No, 11 of his 14 wins by way of finish, 9 knockouts, 2 submissions, including one of the fastest finishes in combat sports history. Actually, no. He did not win the fastest finish in combat sports history, but his highlight, and I remember correctly, he fought against Toshinori Tsunemura back in April 2019 for Pancrase, and that finish was so wicked, it got put into a Chiseled Adonis highlight reel. I'll never that.
Nice.
But still, though, when it comes down to his RIZIN credentials, he is unfortunately 2-5 in the promotion. The last time he had a win in RIZIN was back at RIZIN 29 on June 27, 2021, when he defeated Kuya Ito. Since then, he's lost 4 of his last 5, including an arm triangle choke loss to Kyoji Horiguchi, and has not fought in almost a year since RIZIN 41 when he lost to Koichi Ishizuka. Now, as far as Subota goes, this is pretty much a gimme fight for Kentaro. He's Tsubota's 10, 11, and 3 overall from, obviously, hometown fighter Kobe Hyogo, Japan, returning to RIZIN competition for the first time since RIZIN Trigger First, when he knocked out Makoto Kamaya back on November 28th, 2021. Other than that, he's riding a 3-fight losing streak and hasn't fought since September. So, when it comes down to this fight, do you think that this is a gimme fight for Kentaro?
I don't know. I don't. We'll see how it goes. But I mean, just the fact that he's was on a Trigger fight. I mean, the Trigger First card, which is arguably one of the greatest events in RIZIN history, especially for the cage events. It was the best cage event in RIZIN's history so far. So I'm glad that a fighter from that event is on this card as well. So we'll see. I don't know. Does Tapology give him a 90% chance of winning or something?
Let me go ahead and check. Yeah, you're pretty close. Kentaro has an 89% chance of winning.
1% off of 90%. Okay, so maybe it will be a gimme fight for him. I don't know. We'll have to see how it goes. But I mean, I don't know. Rarely any fights are gimme fights, so we'll see. Wait, what is Drew saying here? That's pretty. It's the only good cage event. What? No, it's not. It's not the only good cage event. It's the best cage event. It's not the only good one, and it's arguably the best, one of the best events in RIZIN's entire history. Ring events and cage events included. That was a Trigger First event. No, it's not pretty bad. It's pretty awesome. Kentaro. Okay, well then I guess. I mean, well, hey, we'll see. Well, that's why they booked the fights, and we'll see. He's a hometown guy, so Tapology says he's got 89% chance, so we'll see how it goes.
I mean, come to think of it, there's a reason why they booked this card in Kobe, because they want the local athletes to basically feel like they're welcome.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he's a local guy, so they want local people fans to show up for him. So I mean, hey, I ain't mad at Sakakibara-san. Go ahead. So
yeah, but you know what? Considering the fact that we got 2 more fights to talk about, I'm gonna just go ahead and save you the trouble of, talking about the fight that I want to talk about. Oh, by the way, Kentaro is a good guy for the lower third of the card.
Absolutely. See, Kome Day knows what's up. Drew's just hating. Kome Day knows.
But still, though, I'm going to save you the trouble of talking about the heavyweight fight last, because I know that we pretty much got 2 fights left, and we've been through this for 2 hours now, so,
that's it? That's it. We can go another hour, no problem. Come on.
And still, though, point of the matter, the last lighter weight fight of the card is Yusaku Nakamura versus Mustafa Osterrick, a.k.a. Arman Ashimov, who is making his RIZIN debut. Nakamura, 18-10 overall. Well, 18-10-1 overall from Osaka, representing Team Alpha Male Japan. He is 3-5 under RIZIN rules. 3-5. And is a former Dream competitor. But he's also, I think, 2-4 in his last 6 fights. Let's be real. 2-4 in his last 6. He recently defeated Hiroya Kondo, Asakura Action teammate Hiroya Kondo back at RIZIN Landmark 6 in Nagoya. So this will be his 2nd consecutive cage event and 3rd in the last 4 fights. As for Ashimov from Almaty, Kazakhstan, by way of Patlodar, Kazakhstan. He stands 5 feet 7 inches tall, weighs 125 pounds, is 32 years of age. Born January the 14th, 1992, with a 12-3-1 MMA record. 7 of his 12 wins by way of knockout. And he is also a one-time professional boxer, having fought in a draw back in 2022, December 11th, by the way. But still, though, point of the matter is he's 4-1 in his last 5. He's a former M1 Global flyweight title challenger.
Nice.
Actually, a former M1 Global interim flyweight champion.
Oh, nice.
And much like I think wait a minute, who's the Russian guy that just got signed by RIZIN? Let me go ahead and check again because I'm an idiot. But still, though, point of the matter is
No, you're not. No, you're not. There's a couple of different Russian fighters. Kolesnik's one of them. I mean,
Victor Kolesnik. That's what I meant. He is basically one of those fighters who's taking advantage of the fact that M1 Global, I can't really say no longer exists, but they haven't done an event since before, not before the pandemic, but before the stupid invasion.
Oh yeah, unfortunately, that's a bummer. Hopefully that gets resolved nice and quickly, and that we get back to having. I mean, I love that the Russian fighters are coming over to the Epic RIZIN. I want more. I mean, do you see in the promotions like ACA and all of them? There's some excellent Russian fighters, and the UFC gets to have Russian fighters. Same with PFL, Bellator. So I mean, why not the Epic RIZIN? I mean, there's plenty of excellent Russian fighters. So and this bout right here. Arman he's not Russian, he's Kazakhstan. That's a country that's a little bit that's underneath, Russia's eastern part, right? So
from the same that gave light to Gennady Golovkin. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, the boxer, famous boxer, right? So I mean, look, this is a good country for fighters right here. And remember, there's even some from your favorite promotion, Jay Chris, that damn one championship, which we only hate on because they sideline their fighters for too long. And also, my personal beef with them is that they banned soccer kicks and suplex slams. So that was a terrible decision. But
but I mean, and we can talk about this fight all we want. Well, actually, I'm just gonna go ahead and say this fight it's gonna be an interesting flyweight bout, even though
because look, it's like Kazakhstan. I was saying that's why I brought up that damn one championship because Igor Svirid and another fighter there from Kazakhstan as well. So they have some good, mixed martial arts guys, and they also were running a couple years ago. This company called Bushido Kazakhstan was running 16-man one-night Grand Prix and 8-man one-night Grand Prix events in mixed martial arts. So it's a good mixed martial arts country. So it's gonna be interesting to see how this flyweight challenger does. And I think it's another prime candidate for an eliminator for the flyweight Grand Prix hopefully later this year, because Uzbekistan is very close to Kazakhstan, right? So I mean they're practically neighbors. So I think they are neighbors, to be honest with you. I have to look at the map again. My geography from memory is not as good as it should be. But anyways, they're pretty much neighboring countries. So if Ashimov is able to get this win right here, I think he's a prime candidate for what we were talking about earlier. If they're going to do an international event in Uzbekistan, and they have an Uzbekistan flyweight Temirov, that could be easily part of this could be another flyweight bout right here. If they're going to do kick off a flyweight Grand Prix and utilize this Uzbekistan international event to do that, if Ashimov wins this, that could easily be another fighter that could be on that Uzbekistan event. And I think if he wins, he's going to be on the Uzbekistan event regardless, even if it's not for a flyweight Grand Prix spot. So we'll see. But to me, that's why this fight is really intriguing as well, because it's another flyweight person that, like Sakakibara was saying, he wants to build the flyweight division before starting the Grand Prix. And this right here is, to me, another one of those fights that could be part of that, building that flyweight division into a flyweight Grand Prix. And if Ashimov is able to win, clearly with Temirov, that flyweight Grand Prix is shaping up really nicely. So we could have a lot of interesting developments from this Landmark 9 card right here in the flyweight division.
Exactly, and Ashima has a very, very, very high chance of winning this fight. 97%. Probably.
Oh my, 97?
Yeah.
Dude, Nakamura's 18-10.
Yes, the most percentage that Topology's predictor has given these
Wow.
fights hard.
Wow. Okay.
Right.
I mean, that's to me that's a pretty high, 97%. That's, I mean, you'd think it'd at least be 95. The guy's fight. I mean, he's 12. I mean, Ashimov's 12-3, like you're saying, former N1 interim champion. So he's got some impressive credentials. But Nakamura's 18-10, bro. That's 28 fights. That's a lot of experience right there to just write off the guy as not having even more than a 3% chance of winning. Crazy. But hey, we'll see. We'll see. So,
Right. And now, let me go ahead and basically bury you all the bullshit and just talk about the fight that might open up the card, at least the main card. And it's a fight that, let's face it, it's in the heavyweight division, but it might have the possibility of becoming an absolute stinker. I basically present to you Taka Kenshin versus Cody the Thunder Jerabek. And of course, we all know that Satoshi Kamiyama, aka the twin brother of Tsuyoshi Sudario, is a failure of a professional fighter. First of all, let me give you the particulars. 6'3", last weighed in at about 275 pounds. With a 77-inch reach. He is 26 years young, born May 13, 1997, fighting out of Oyama, Tochigi, Japan. This can't get a damn fight. Well, actually, this dude can't get a damn win to save his ass. Aside from beating Jimmy the Titan Ambrose and Ganryujima, this dude's been over. As in, for getting his ass knocked out.
Hey, that Ganryujima win, though, that counts. Ganryujima, that's moat fights. Yeah, that counts.
I know, but the point of the matter is, he didn't look well against Hideki Shreksukine. He damn sure didn't do well against Kaliu Gilbrain, the Juggernaut Oliveira, and he got flat out embarrassed against the Kaiju Killer.
But remember, the reason he did is because he didn't know the assignment. If he would have known the assignment and thrown some soccer kicks and grounded knees, he would have got the Kaiju Killer out of there. So it's going to be really interesting to see if Taka Kenshin has learned his lesson and has learned the assignment for this bout right here. So we'll see, because he would have beat Kaiju Killer. The only reason Kaiju Killer was able to come back and beat him in that bout is because Taka Kenshin did not know the assignment. And when he had him hurt up against the cage, I think he threw like one grounded knee in this flurry. It was embarrassing. It was like, dude, how do you not know that you could have won right there, Taka Kenshin, if you just known the assignment and thrown a soccer kick or, a couple more grounded knees? It would have put him away. So I mean, that's for me. That's what I'm looking to see in this fight. Has Taka Kenshin learned the assignment to where he can get a victory here? But the guy is facing. I mean, dude, I can't root against an American fighter. I'm sorry, it's an American fighter here. So. Dude, Taka Kenshin, you better bring it if you want to beat an American fighter.
Go ahead and explain to you about Mr. Cody Jerabek. He's 6 feet 1 inch tall. Last weighed in at 187.4 pounds, so he had to bulk up a lot for this. He's 32 years young, born April Fool's Day 1991, graduate of the University of Wyoming. Fighting out of Cheyenne, Wyoming, USA, representing Madhouse BJJ. But the thing is, he went 4-1 as an amateur fighter. He had his professional MMA debut for LFA, knocking out Bruce Xavier back on September 16, 2022. But aside from the fact that his most recent fight was an injury TKO loss to former UFC fighter Antonio Arroyo back on May 20th, 2023. His fight career ain't the main story here. The fact is, when you search his name up on any search platform, any search engine, you will automatically see a few stories that might catch your eye, like the fact that he's a suspended paralegal who can't practice law in the state of Wyoming for the next 3 years. Like,
How does that even happen? I mean, I know about the paralegal profession, so that's actually I've actually done that before. So I mean, how do you even get suspended at being a paralegal? I used to do that work. I don't even know how to do that.
malpractice, dude, malpractice. That and the fact that
Malpractice. He must have been lying on the forms he was filling out or something. So
just that, but he also basically going through a case for consensual sexual harassment. And the Code Mayday is saying sex with a client.
Oh, is that all? Oh man, how, dude? I thought you were saying that it was, he actually, filled out the forms wrong or put in falsified information or something like that.
Yeah.
All he did was have sex with the client. That's not, dude. The NBA coach, the former Celtics coach, the same thing happened to him. Yeah, Ime Udoka, right? Yeah, but all that happened was him. The Celtics let him go, and he's coaching your Houston Rockets right now, isn't he? I mean, dude, we can't hate on Cody just for that, man. This man, we're getting too soft nowadays. That's some soft ass shit to hate on man for just because he scored with a client.
Filling out some forms, all right, but let's just say he should have kept the pen. He should have kept the pen in the. No, he was filling out forms, but he should have kept his pen in the drawer, so to speak.
Oh shoot!
This fight is probably gonna be the drizzling shit, so much so that Tapology has basically given Jerabek a 92% chance of winning this fight. You say that Taka Kenshin should learn the assignment beforehand. Yeah. Really, I think both fighters should learn the assignment. For Taka Kenshin, it would be just to fight. For Jerabek, is to not be a complete asshole.
Yeah, no. Knowing the assignment should go for every single fighter on every single Epic RIZIN card, be it a numbered card or a landmark cage event. Every Epic RIZIN fighter should know the assignment. That what fans want to see is the superior rule set action. We want to see you guys utilize the superior rule set with stomps, soccer kicks, grounded knees, grounded up kicks, 12-6 elbows, everything. That's how you make yourself a star. Okay, like Luis Killer Gustavo. He wants to be known as Wanderlei Silva's protege. Well, then he needs to start stomping and soccer kicking fools out, right? That's how you become Wanderlei Silva's protege. Is scoring some superior rule set, soccer kick and stomp knockouts, right? So I mean, yes, I'm for Taka Kenshin. Like I said, his previous fight, that's why he lost, because he didn't know the assignment. But yeah, we want to see every single fighter know the assignment, understand the assignment. So. But for Taka Kenshin, it's particularly of interest because that's how he lost his previous fight, was not knowing the assignment. So if he has learned the assignment now, maybe he will get his first win. So I mean, but Cody, I mean, it says he's 1-0. What you said he lost last year? What did he lose in? A different sport, kickboxing or boxing or something?
He lost, and let me explain. He lost in karate combat against.
Oh, okay. So he lost in karate combat, which is a striking sport, basically. So that's why it has him as 1-0. So that's okay. I mean, so look, like you were saying, Jay Krish, he's a lighter weight guy that's putting on pounds to fight at heavyweight. So he's really being brought in for Taka Kenshin to get his first win. Basically, let's be real here. He's being brought in to lose to Taka Kenshin, to get Taka Kenshin his first W in the Epic RIZIN, right? So we'll see if he can pull off the upset here. And Taka Kenshin, he is a definite. I mean, he's a sumo crossover, so he's gonna definitely be bigger than him. So I mean, if he understands the assignment now, finally he's learned the assignment, it could be a problem for Cody. So we'll see how it plays out. But I mean, hey, Cody knows how to strike. If he knows the assignment, that's the game changer. He could throw out. I mean, even if Taka Kenshin gets him down, right? Cody could do a grounded up kick and win the bout, right? I mean, the superior rule set is the great game changer in mixed martial arts. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see. I mean, I'm not going to count anybody just because it says he got another 90% chance of losing. That doesn't honestly. I mean, I'm surprised that all these predictions are 90% one way or the other. To be honest with you, in a professional mixed martial arts contest, especially on the superior rule set, right? Especially at heavyweight too, where we know heavyweight, one strike either way could end the fight in heavyweight. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, but still, though, when it comes down to this particular fight, I mean, I'm not gonna really pick who's gonna win this fight. I'm just gonna be enjoying. I mean, I'm just gonna be sitting back, relaxing, and just enjoying, as Big E said, two big meaty men slapping meat.
Yeah, everybody loves the heavyweights.
Still, though, let's just say if Taka Kenshin loses, should it be time for him to just pick another sport?
Yeah, I mean, dude, that'll be 4 in a row. So it's like, and especially if he shows he doesn't know the assignment yet. If he hasn't learned the assignment by now on his 4th fight and he loses again, okay, yeah. Especially if they're paying him a lot of money because he's a sumo crossover, definitely it's time to go back to Ganryu Jima moat fighting then, where he can actually get a win. So yeah, 4 in a row. I mean, geez, I hate to even say that because you know me, I'm all about giving fighters chances, right? So it's like that's hard for me to even say. So, but yeah, 4 in a row, and if he shows he knows the assignment though, if he loses but he shows during the fight he knows the assignment, throws like some soccer kicks or stomp or something, then I would say okay, bring him back for one more. But if you don't know the assignment yet at this point and he loses again, it's time to say okay. Sorry, buddy. You've had your chance in this. It's time to go to send him to deep or somewhere to learn how to fight, basically get some wins before coming back.
Well, who the hell he's going to face off against? Uber drivers and stuff like that.
Yeah. Call up a plumber. Call up some plumbers and electricians. Get him in there. Get him a W. Oh shoot.
But still, though, when it comes down to this fight card, I mean, I'm not going to say which 3 fights do you think is going to steal the show, because that's Andrew's thing. But when it comes down to this particular fight card, aside from what the main event is going to be, and we don't even know what the next fight, the final fight for this card is going to be, I mean, what fight do you think will steal the show?
Oh, that's easy. That's real easy, brother. You know which one it is already, I think. That's the hot girl fight of the night. The striker queen Reina Kuboto versus Yuri Shim. 2 beautiful women going out, 2 excellent strikers. Striker queen Reina just has the most beautiful superior rule set technique in the sport. So good. I think she should teach a seminar on it across it. She goes gym to gym. I mean, she should go to every single gym in Japan and teach seminars on a superior rule set. That's how great she is at striking a superior rule set. So I'm really looking forward to that one. That's my answer. The hot girl fight of the night between Reina and Yuri Shim. That's gonna steal the show.
Well, to be honest, from the looks of the card on Tapology, we don't know which fight is truly going to be the main event. But what I'm going to be picking, I think it's going to be Roberto Satoshi de Souza versus Kito Keitaro Nakamura, especially because of the fact that you got the lightweight champion of the world for RIZIN. You got the main proprietor supporting RIZIN pretty much in a situation where he could, either gain his respect back or lose it all. I mean, I think that De Souza is going to have a lot to carry I mean, he's gonna have a lot of weight to carry coming into this fight.
Yeah, that's a good pick. That might be what is going to end up being the main event. Like you said, we don't know yet, but that's a pretty good pick, Jay Krish, because that'll probably end up being the main event. We'll see when they release the card lineup, probably tomorrow or Tuesday.
And yeah, they're gonna have to release it soon because again, the fight card is gonna be taking place late Friday night in our respective time zones in the Central and Pacific, in the Central Mountain Pacific, Alaskan and Hawaiian time zones. Is going to take place either late or early Friday night in those time zones. It's going to take place at midnight Eastern on RIZIN.TV from Kobe World Memorial Hall in Kobe, Hyogo, Japan. And wow, I'm so excited that I wish this fight card was happening right now, but still,
you and me both, brother.
A little too late if that were to happen, but still, though. Point of the matter is, we're just about done with this. I mean, obviously, we had fun. I know Andrew had fun joining us. And again, if you want to check him out, go to @WeAreRIZIN on Twitter, or search for We Are Rising Podcast on your favorite platforms of choice, or subscribe to the We Are Rising Podcast right here on YouTube. We're sure that you're going to get an exciting time putting over that card there, as well as the fact that I probably might join in a little later on tomorrow night when he has his show. But other than that, Jay, the folks know how to get you.
Yeah. I mean, you can get me on Twitter. Oh, thank you for the banner right there. Beautiful. I love it, Ashley. Thanks so much, Jay Krish. And I love doing these shows with you. Make sure you go to Focus Fights Audio. Check out all the. Jay Krish not only does these shows right here, he also does fantastic interviews as well. So make sure you go there. And, you already saw on the banner where you can follow me in the Discord, the RIZIN Discord chat. It's so much fun. We have a lot of fun there. That's where we're watching live events, everything. It's a lot of fun. We watch, kickboxing, everything. It's a lot of fun in there. I like it better than posting publicly on Twitter and everything. But, I'm also on Twitter as well. You saw that on the banner. He posted it's spelled JAYYOLF1. There you go. It's misspelled because that's how it was misspelled since I started commenting on the Yahoo message boards over a decade ago in like mid 2006, 2007, whenever it was I started. So that's how you know it's me, the same Jay Wolf from way back in the day. So, and it's misspelled because there was like 100 other different Jay Wolves. I didn't want to be like Jay Wolf 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, a bunch of numbers, right? So I just misspelled it. It's easier to search. You just press J and then another Y. I'm the only other one that has my name spelled like that. You follow me and you're a real person, not a bot, I'll follow you right back. So I really appreciate you listening. I want to give a shout out also to Code May Day, who has given us some great questions and comments during this show right here. And again, shout out to you, Jay Krish, for these shows. It's great talking to you. Have a lot of fun. And, I can't wait to do another one. If you want to do a review show, I'll be down to do a review show right here on Focus Fights Audio. Also look forward to seeing you on the We Are Rising podcast. Oh, also, I'm doing a Bellator preview with Teep to the Junk, another good friend of the show. Teep to the Junk, he has his own, he has the Bellator previews, right? And there's going to be a Bellator show on Friday. And I'm gonna be on that show, and we're gonna have Santiago from Amsterdam. He does the Bellator zone, and you know who Big Marcel is broadcast partner. He breaks a lot of UFC news, so I'm sure people know who that is. He's going to be on the show as well. We're going to talk a lot about Bellator, and Teep lets me. I mean, I love it because he lets me talk about the Epic RIZIN on those Bellator shows as well. So I'll be putting over RIZIN as well on that show, and then hope we get to do a review show with you, Jay Krish, after. And I just can't wait for Friday night, man. Can't wait for Friday. Really, honestly, this whole week is going to be a lot of fun. Wednesday, we got the King K1 is back, and we finally get to pay money and get a real legal stream for King K1. And then on Friday, we get to watch Bellator during the day, and then the night, the big show, the show of the week, RIZIN Landmark 9 on RIZIN.TV. Another legal show. And make sure you actually buy the stream so you support the Superior Rules set. So, oh wait, what's Cold May Day saying here? You should have done this show tomorrow. Going ahead. No, we don't want to go head to head with Drew.
No. I got some shit to tend to tomorrow. So, I mean, matter of fact, I got some shit to tend to over the next month or so as far as me getting a driver's license. So,
Oh, nice.
No, I'm not going to be able to go head to head with Andrew anytime soon.
Well, here we're going to come up right here on 2 hours and 30 minutes perfectly. So you want to send us out? You want to put over anything else, or you want to just send us out with Lenny Hart's outro?
Well, first of all, before I even get the opportunity to do that, thank you, Jay Wolf, for joining. I mean, again, I would have been lost doing this show by myself, and it would have been a way shorter show than this. I mean, my God, this is just amazing. But still, though, we had fun. Andrew had fun. I had fun. And we hope that you, the viewer or listener, had fun in checking this out. And I just wanted to basically say again, RIZIN Landmark 9 taking place this Friday on RIZIN.tv. Make sure you go to RIZIN.tv to sign up. Pay the $20 or so. Is it $20 for this event?
Yes. $20 for the event, and if you want to do the annual subscription, it's $179.
Right. Of course. But other than that, as you can see clearly in the banner, check out my links. Check out the link to the Discord. No, check out the link to the Discord and the links to all of what Focus Fights has to offer in the description below, especially my links, of course. I mean, obviously it'll be the main one to tell you, but still, though, point of the matter is, they say spring has sprung, and RIZIN is about to have their hope spring eternal, as this is the time where brackets are busted, and everything is starting, and all madness comes loose. So, all I gotta say is that I'm happy to continue doing this. I don't know if I'm gonna continue to do this on times when I'm off. I mean, shit, I probably might be. I don't know. But still, though, I'm just happy to continue doing this, and I hope that we can continue doing more of these soon. But other than that, Jay, again, thank you for joining me. Fans, Andrew, thank you for joining me. And hopefully we can do more on these next time. And again, subscribe to both the We Are RIZIN YouTube channel, as well as this YouTube channel for more stuff that, you can check out. But other than that, I think you know where we're going. And what better way to close this damn thing out than, as the great Lenny Hart always likes to say,
Pride never die. Pride is RIZIN.
Exactly. And as the late, great Fred Fowler always liked to say, stay sportsy, bitches. We'll see you.
Peace.